Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
What's up?
Oh my God. What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernon's. We're then going to talk about each guest, give our talking points, our opinions, this, that, and the next. Chico couldn't be here this week. We're very sorry. But first, Kamar, how was your week? And read the new Patreons.
It's my favorite time of the week to read off the Patreons. This week, we don't get a lot of action on the Patreons, but big shout out to Caleb. I believe that he might be the lead singer of Kings of Leon. He just wants to come in on the low.
Hello,
Nice little
Caleb.
donation.
Shout out Caleb.
And then shout out to Fam Relax, which I imagine must be a Vietnamese listener. Fam Relax, thank
Shout
you very
out
much.
fam.
Thank you, fam.
Much love.
Thank you to all the Patreons.
Thank
Welcome
you,
new
all
listeners.
Patreons.
Thank you, old listeners. Anyone who's new to the show, remember, not only do you support the podcast, you also get 53, This Did Not Age Well, the Moon Debate, and the Post Joe.
There you go.
We're talking fucking, it's got to be 500 hours.
Does it gotta be?
No, it's got to be 53
It kind of
hours. My math is all over.
It kind of ended up being the Moon Agreement. In
The
the
Moon
end.
Agreement,
Yeah,
but in any
as
event.
opposed to the Moon Debate.
Great content, and they're a great way to support the podcast. And sometimes these post shows are getting fire. Other than that, this week, the weather got nice. Now we're painting outside.
Oh, there you go.
So that's sort of, get the shirt off there, lathered up.
Showing off for all the ladies.
Showing off
Catcalling.
for all the dudes on Powell.
Nice.
Actually, I saw Simon the other day. I believe I was painting the stairs.
That is true.
Simon had no comment
I
about
can
that?
confirm. I didn't know if I was supposed to talk about, people murdering people.
Wow. Hey.
Gotcha.
Now that I'm a con, when do I become an ex-con? That's what I want to know.
No, you're an
You're
ex-con
not
right
a
now.
con.
I'm an
You
ex-con
have-
already?
No,
Yeah.
you have to have been in jail.
No, you just got to
he's
get convicted.
convicted of a crime.
Sure.
All right.
So,
Okay,
I'm an
fine.
ex-con.
He's not allowed into the
Ex-con,
States.
great.
So,
I believe I am. I believe I'm not excluded from the States.
are you sure about that?
I haven't tried, but I don't think I'm not allowed to go to the States. I know I'm not allowed to drive in the States, but
I know that we don't let people with drunk driving records in.
anyways, it's an ex-con, just a story I'm trying to make good. Like and subscribe.
Simon, how was your week, sir?
My week was fine, Matthew. Thanks. Little bit of alien news.
Go on.
They George Knapp and Justin Corbell released this.
Jeremy Corbell.
What did I say?
Justin.
Jeremy Corbell released the. I think it was them, anyways. Released this Navy footage of they're like have this thing in their sights. It's hovering out there. Everybody's excited, and then they go, "Oh, it just made a splash," and it zooms into the water. Anyway, it's very cool, man. Very cool.
That's good. That's great for you.
Cool story.
That's great for you, Simon.
Did you just cool story me, bro?
I believe I did.
he
Dude, if
definitely
I
did.
wasn't behind this glass, I would take my glove off
It
and
always
slap your face.
it
with
always
it.
bugs me because I watch news clips and there'll be something on UFO like something for Simon, and there's always at Jeremy Corbell in the corner of the video. He's got the corner market cornered.
Anyways, besides that, my week was, whatever. You know when you pack too many bags onto a pack mule that you're trying to get up a mountain?
Break its back.
Do you have a mule? Do you have personal experience packing mules?
No, I'm equating myself to a pack mule. Just go on. How was your week, Matthew?
I guess it was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
Well, then let's do this thing.
All right.
Fired up.
Fair enough.
Go.
Go ahead, Kumar.
What's that?
Want to go over the guests for us?
Do we do that? Yeah. 1649. A man who doesn't think life is hard enough for everyone. So he wrote a book about it. Michael Easter. We had our favorite grumpy old Canadian comic, 1650, Russell Peters. We had nicest guy, a little too much shit talk, 1651, Joe List. Finished by the leader of the compound, 1652, Anthony Cumia.
And his green screen that Joe mentioned 100 fucking times.
It's the pod father, who's that guy, Adam Curry and Anthony Cumia. Really, I wonder if they ever.
Tom Green.
I was gonna
Throw
say
him
I
into
think
the
it's
mix.
Tom Green and
Anyways,
Anthony Cumia.
We'll get to that.
But not just
fucking-
Anthony. Like the
no,
whole
I guess
mess.
Adam Curry was just started podcasting, unbeknownst to Joe, and it was Anthony Cumia and Tom Green who were the inspiration, and by default, why we are here today.
Like did Joe hear Adam Curry doing his shit and was like, "I got to do this," or does he just give him props for being
That's
the
what
first one?
that's what I
to
just
do it?
acknowledged
Yeah.
in my head. I don't think so.
Anyways, all right.
Okay, well, do you want to rate the week?
Wow, after 2 really strong weeks, I think it sort of petered out with some repeat guests, and I think they're doing a good job of trying to get rid of the COVID talk as much as can. I give
No,
this
they're
week
not.
a 2.1.
Simon, how about you, sir?
I will come in right underneath Kamara at a 2.0.
I'm going to agree with Simon. I'm going to give it just a 2. This week was not the greatest. Not really my cup of tea. It was fine though. Whatever. I'm not like complaining. It just wasn't overly exciting.
Again, once you have 2 really strong weeks, sort of expectations get higher. Expectations are the root of disappointment.
I mean, I don't think I was expecting it to be. I didn't come in like this week's going to be gangbusters. I just once it played out, I was like, meh.
I mean, it's going to be a long time for you after Chappelle.
Yeah, I'm never going to be excited about anything on here ever again. That's it. All right, well, let's fire this fucker up.
1649 is not Christmas. It's Michael Easter.
Good one, Kamara. Good one.
Yeah, I don't need to read this book. It's not meant for me.
My buddy, he's like a crane operator. He just moved back to Ottawa, and he's like, I want to listen to your podcast, but I don't listen to Joe's. And I was like, well, I don't care. Don't listen to either.
Good promotion.
Yeah, but then he was like, well, no, like I want to listen to Joe's and yours. So give me some good Joe episodes. So he's constantly hitting me up like, who should I listen to this week? And I was like, we go over this in my podcast, you fucker. Either way,
I was really trying to cut out the middleman there. Hey, give him some downloads, bro.
this week he hits me up and he's like, should I listen to the health guy? Like I work out. I'm really into health. And I was like, no, like I can spare you the 3 hours. Like you don't do enough, do more, work out, go outside. That's it. I think I just summed the whole thing up.
Well, didn't you say he's a crane operator?
My buddy, yeah.
So that every morning he has hardship climbing up. I do a hard job. Like this is for somebody, maybe like Russell Peters or something, but it's for a certain demographic.
Sure. But I just feel like there's like, this is the thing is, I mean, maybe that's how it works, but Joe has these guys on weekly. So if you've listened to enough Joe and you're still like morbidly obese, then how much help can you get?
I just thought it was weird how it's like he's not telling Joe anything he does. Maybe he had a couple facts in there.
No, all these episodes are exactly the same, man. It's so fucking boring. Come on, let's call a spade a spade.
But it's like Joe is a backboard for this guy's information to bounce off his face
Simon, can
into
you-
a listener who might be interested.
Can you headphone up there, buddy?
Yeah.
Sorry, you keep moving away from the mic. I want people to know that I've done nothing but
No,
try to
I
help.
talked lower there on purpose.
Oh, okay. You really just dumbing it down for us? No, this guy brought nothing new to the table at all. And I don't know why a book is necessary. Like,
Well, I think he went on a hunting expedition and it was really hard and sucked. He was like, I got to make something out of this, so I'll write a book.
These episodes make me long for like quantum physics guys, you know?
I couldn't agree more. And when he said he's having Neil deGrasse Tyson back on, was that in this episode?
Oh, dude.
No, it's coming down.
Oh,
the
it's
pipe.
coming. Oh my god, I
This-
couldn't believe it.
This is the
Something not to look forward to.
This is the stuff that really drives me nuts, though. Is like, fuck, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a joke.
He's also a dick. He was
And-
was
no.
an asshole the last time he was in your studio.
This is what I mean. Like, you have no reason. There's way better science guys to have on that don't make the rest of us feel like, you know, if we're talking about something a little off the beaten track, we're fucking morons.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously he's going to be talking about the Mars landing. I'm sure that'll be
Who gives a fuck?
the boatload about it. Well, I mean, that's all we have.
Is he going to talk down about the Mars landing, or is he? Gonna...
I wonder what his view on Elon is.
I would
we'll get
say
to
he's
Elon.
happy about that because of advancements in getting people into space. But as we talked about in the episode down, we don't even know what happened with the Amazon, and we're trying to get to another planet. We're not a cohesive unit moving forward.
No,
The
of course
planet
not.
Earth, I mean.
No. We definitely do things backwards, that's for sure.
2% of people take the stairs. Do you guys take the stairs?
Instead of the
When he said
elevator?
instead of an escalator. Was what he
When there's
said.
a choice there, yeah.
Oh, definitely not instead of an escalator, but I'll often do it instead of an elevator.
It depends how many floors, obviously.
Well, just, elevators are fucking cesspools for all sorts of disaster.
I find like if you're somewhere where there's escalators and stairs, the escalator is always like a more convenient option. Not in the fact that it walks you up, but just they're placed more like conveniently.
If
I
it's near your store,
find.
I often try to go for the stairs just because I'm not Ethan Suppley, but
Hey, guys,
anything helps.
is there anything funner than running up the escalator the wrong, you know what I mean?
Trying
the
to get
way
up
on
when
the
it's going down?
escalator,
Trying to treadmill it, yeah.
It was fun as a kid. I haven't done it in years, but I imagine it would be just as fun today.
Do you think you could make it to the top today?
Oh, for sure.
There's nothing actually.
You don't think you could make it to the top of an escalator?
Do you think you can make it to the top of the one at Bayshore?
I could make it up there, no problem.
Ooh, we got another challenge. Write that down.
No, I'm surprised that you think that would be a problem.
And you got to do that.
I think it's way tougher than you think at this age.
Really?
Yeah. The one at Bayshore is like 3
You're
fucking
right.
stories.
I mean, I run out of breath going up the big stairs at Jer's cottage, but
I'm just saying
that was while I was a smoker. I'm,
it's one of
much
those
better
things,
at
Simon, that
condition now.
visualizing. It's like planking. Like you're like, I could plank for 5 minutes, no problem. And then you start doing it.
No, I don't. I don't think
No,
I
you
could.
can't.
I don't
3
think
minutes
I could
is
plank.
competitive planking.
I've been planking for 2 minutes an hour lately. That's like my new thing.
That's good.
Your new thing is planking.
Yeah, just for some extra and,
So
and
only-
jumping rope. And I'm trying to do some
Are
things.
you like taking
look good, man.
pictures of yourself planking?
Not that planking, like where you fucking like a plank. It's like an exercise. Not talking about fucking.
Like where you go on top of the refrigerator?
No, that's the
That's,
meme planking.
That's planking. That's what you're doing?
Are you done? Fucking guy.
There's definitely an age. I don't know what it is where the escalator is terrifying, though. On both ends.
What do
you
you
don't
mean?
remember that as a kid, like the teeth where the things go in, you'd be afraid of that, like want to jump.
I
on.
guess,
Well,
maybe.
yeah, they used
leap
to
over that.
because they used to tell us stories about people getting like their coat stuck and being chomped up by the escalator. I don't think that ever happened.
Dude, I gotta say, there's a video of an escalator failing where like all the stairs, a guy disappears in the fucking thing.
Now that's scary.
Oh, dude,
cool.
if you see this, you'll never ride an
Why?
escalator.
They're
again.
hollow underneath the escalators?
No, all the mechanics are in between the stairs because the stairs just run like a.
So what? He gets sucked into the machinery?
Dude, you don't. It's just like a CCTV. You see all the stairs.
It
like,
must be in China.
I mean, one can only assume.
He said we spend 95% of our time indoors. Do you think we're probably even higher because of this?
Because of our climate and where we live.
7
yeah.
months of winter. You don't think about it, you know what I mean? But you're just always inside.
I think about it because in the summer I spend. Like the last 4 days, all I've done is sat in the back porch.
Patio
And
chilling.
it's noticeable where I'm like, I have to be outside because it's such a scarce thing up here. You know what I mean? Like you come out of almost hibernation.
We've only got 90 days right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Or 150
Yeah,
days.
I'm like the countdown to shit weather again has already begun. So you gotta I don't know. I agree. I'm sure 95 seems aggressive. Like if you lived in California, do you honestly think that people in California spend 95% of their time indoors?
No, but in winter climates, I'm gonna have to agree with that. man.
Maybe
I
that's possibly it's a whole average of people in Minnesota. To
That
someone
might
in
be
Florida.
it. Yeah, because I truly believe if you live in Florida, I mean, maybe what he's saying though is like, you go from your house to your car to a mall.
Well, and if you spend all your time on the computer, like
Yeah.
you're doing that in a room, most probably.
Well, that's another thing he said. And it doesn't matter if you're on your phone, you watch a screen. But it's like this pandemic has been the worst for thwarting that. We've probably spent the most time, maybe 98% of our time inside
Well, yeah,
looking at screens in the last year.
because you're afraid to go outside. So
I mean, yes and no, though. We've seen so many people that have, done a lot of good with this time. I get it. A lot of people
I
have
think
used
it's
this.
more of like a
a
handful.
lot of this time I've used.
Majority
I
of
don't know if
them.
it's a handful. I would say more people than you'd think.
first of all, I think a lot of people You're talking about like what you see online?
No, I'm just talking about in general. Like, I feel like some people use the time wisely and some people used it poorly.
For sure, but I bet you the percentage is most people were stagnant.
Like I said, I bet at least 25% of people, picked up a new trait or started a new hobby or did something.
I'd like to believe it's like 25%. I don't think it's that high, but
Listen, I never do fucking puzzles. I did like 6 puzzles over
But
this
you're
fucking-
still doing that inside.
so
yeah,
what,
because
you want
what-
to be a professional jigsaw?
Well,
No,
no,
but I'm just saying it's like
outside.
something, it's something new that I didn't do before. We play a ton of
I
chess
wonder
now,
if
like
that's a thing.
professional puzzler.
A professional jigsaw puzzle.
Everyone gets the
Like,
same
do you think
puzzle and who finishes
do you
it
think
quickest?
there must, you know what, I'm going to find out right now, guys.
Is it professional, like competitive?
Yeah,
So
competitive,
two guys, same 2 people.
No, I imagine it's more than
Boy,
2 people,
privilege.
but we're going to find out right
So
now.
you
Same
pay,
puzzle
you pay
head
an
to head.
entry fee, $500 a head. Whoever finishes the fucking.
Because 1,000-piece puzzle, I don't think can be done in a day. So it's like, what are we doing?
Well, that's
cricket
us
here?
But I mean, again, if there was money on the
A
line,
professional puzzler could do it.
What's the
I'm sure.
fastest 1,000-piece puzzles ever put together?
oh, that's a good fucking.
I think it's a day.
It's the puzzle game.
Okay, the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship is a skill competition that recognizes and rewards the most skilled puzzle assemblers in the world. It's sponsored by the World Jigsaw Puzzle Federation,
Obviously.
an organization made up of associations and friends from more than 50 countries, guys.
A lot of puzzlers.
How fast do they do a puzzle?
And here we can find out all about, all right, man. Results. Oh, I don't even know what the competition was. Sorry. Move on. It's fine.
He was saying that boredom is good for creativity. They did a test where people were bored, and then when they did something creative, they were more creative than people were stimulated. And I think that's counterintuitive, because I always think I'm looking for inspiration, watching, reading.
Whereas boredom should be the inspiration. Yeah.
Boredom actually makes you go in your head and do stuff. I thought that was interesting. The whole bottom line, what he's talking about is through hardship, you facilitate appreciation.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason why people are complaining so much. They are too comfortable,
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
and little things are bothering them, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree with that more.
He talked about that tribe that thought about death every day, and they were one of the happiest people on the planet. And again, that's that appreciation thing. You know what I mean? Where I feel like in North America, we sort of don't want to talk about death, don't want to think about death. Sort of, we're living to avoid death, even though it's so inevitable.
Yeah, but I think it's how you think about death. I bet there's a ton of people that think about death every day and are miserable. It's probably how you compute the.
Well, he was saying this is a cultural thing, so it's almost like a group think. But I've noticed whenever comics try to do like death material, it's iffy.
I don't know.
He's not in my experience, an amazing comic can do a great joke about death, but often it's like people are like, oh, you're making me think about death. Like it's more death is a bad thing than death is an inevitable thing in North America, at least.
Yeah, well, no one wants to die.
Simon, you hate talking about death, right?
I mean, whatever. I try not to think about it too much, to tell you the honest truth, because
That's why you're a miserable prick.
No, that's what keeps me from being a miserable prick.
But Kamar just said the opposite.
Well, Kamar can sit around thinking about death all he wants, then, I guess.
No, this was that tribe. I think about death, like the sweet release, as I call it.
Jesus Christ.
He talked about how it was helicopter parenting
Yeah.
because of kidnapping.
Yeah.
And then most recently, it's snow plow parenting, where they just push everything out of the way to try to keep a clear path. The best example is that, what's that documentary you had us watch? It was really good.
Yeah, the people buying their way into the universities.
That was the second best reenactment.
The Matthew
movie.
Modine
second best
reenactment. Yeah,
reenactment.
after American Vandals. No, American Animals.
American Animals. But is there, will there be, I don't know, pick your analogy, past snowplow parenting, eradicating any hardship for children will only do us a disservice.
Yeah, we'll call it Colonel Kurtz parenting. That's exterminate with extreme prejudice anything that gets in your children's way.
And which will only be a disservice. So the solution is setting out to do something really hard once a year.
Throw your kids to the wolves. That's the When children reach like the ripe old age of 13, they should have to go out and kill an animal that can kill them. And if they don't come back with the head and pelt of that animal, then they spend the rest of their lives wandering in the wilderness.
Do you think there's an evolution with that where like you were maybe not overprotective, but really protective of your son, and now you're getting to the point where you're frustrated with him, like, you got to suffer?
Are you talking to me personally?
Well, you're the
He
only one
knows
here
I
with a
doesn't have
son.
a kid. Yeah.
Matt, if you had a kid at this point, would you want
Yeah.
to?
If things hadn't gone, yeah,
No,
like
I was making a joke. I'm definitely not
My bad.
throwing my kids to the wolves. But
Well, that was your analogy. I just meant like, do you want to see him struggle?
I think Kamar meant, do you feel at this point that your son could use a few more struggles in his life, or that he could have used a few more challenges?
yeah, but I think that everybody has their own shit and everybody has their own struggles, and you guys know that as well as anybody. You know what I mean? Like, just because you may have had a leg up on one place, you can be miserable, and I don't know, man. Like, everybody's
it's just a question. There's no
everybody's
right or
story
wrong
is
answer.
different.
Yeah,
No,
of course.
I'm just saying though. Like, we'll often say like, "Oh, that guy is so rich. How could he possibly be depressed?" I mean,
Well, we
For a
found that out with
multitude
Russell
of
Peters.
reasons,
It's not hard.
well, Russell Peters, we know from the last time he was on, he was going through something.
Well, apparently he's coming on the other side. We'll get to that soon. I thought it was funny they talked about that woman that moved out to the bush and was eating moss,
Yeah.
and that they wanted to bust her. Yeah, in Austin or LA, they will let homeless people camp. Sort of a weird, like if one person's just camping renegade by themselves, that's a problem. But if they're all doing it, then what are we gonna do? Like, how can we stop it?
There's states where living off the grid is like illegal.
Well, you can't just go into the woods and like start a fire. That's illegal.
Yes, that is. You can't. Well, here you can't even start a fire on your own land.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, theoretically, you can't go into the wilderness and survive because
You're squatting on crown
like,
land.
I remember when we were young one time, we just decided we were going to just go camping. Like, we didn't.
You didn't know you had to like get a.
Well, we didn't even realize you had to go to like a campsite. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Just
we,
thought you just-
we just
the great
grabbed
wide
our
open.
shit. We like headed up to the Gatineaus. We parked in like a parking lot and we fucking walked up into the woods and camped. And nobody said shit because we walked
Didn't ask
well
anyone.
way.
Yeah.
No, a far way into the woods, you know, but
Yeah, but again, if you
you
don't
weren't
ask,
supposed to do that.
yeah, I mean, that I don't even see why it's such a big deal.
Well, they're worried about forest fires. They're
Yeah.
worried about you getting drunk out there. It ended up being such a stupid trip that we picked. There were so many black flies that we couldn't even have a fire. I think that's how it turned out. Was the thing because we had to just be in the tent.
I saw a mosquito this morning.
Though there are lots of bugs out at like Bruce Pit where we walk the dogs.
As
and
they're
shit.
coming.
But better than snow, man. I was complaining about the heat earlier and just like caught myself
Yeah.
being a real asshole because we were many days complaining about the cold.
Yeah, fuck.
And we had that weird
I'll take the heat any
one
day.
a month ago. It was hot for one day. It's like, here it comes. And it's been shit. So yeah, bring it on. A ton of bear talk, which you can't get around hunting.
Yeah, there's always bear talk whenever hunting comes up.
But I just feel like it's like
Would you guys rather? Sorry, Kamar, to interrupt you.
I can't put the words.
Would you guys rather have to hunt a bear or a wolf?
A bear.
What
Now,
do you have to hunt?
keep in mind that wolf is going to be part of a pack.
That's why I said bear.
You'd rather hunt a bear.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Was it this one?
You don't want to hunt a smart fucking pack animal.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
just
no,
when you
it's,
think just when you think you've got the leg up, there's a good chance you're fucking done.
Both of those things would not be a good prospect, but I think I'd have to agree with you. I'd rather hunt the bear.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can hunt a wolf easier in the sense that one shot will take it down.
Different question. If I told you you had to hunt that animal with a knife, what would you rather do?
the bear, man.
I'm just gonna leave
Still
the wood.
the
I'll
bear?
take the knife and plunge it in my own heart because it's just easier that way.
No, you have to.
I'm
compete.
hunting the bear. I'm waiting till sleep, and then when he sleeps, I get him.
That would be a cool idea for a movie. Like people get kidnapped and they have to go out and fight animals.
What was that Ice-T movie where all the
Yeah.
rich guys?
It was The Game.
Was that it?
It was something like that. And the movie game this week,
The ice.
it was Ice-T.
Ice-T?
Yeah, and they all got...
Yeah, so it was this. The premise
on,
was
I'm
this:
gonna find
Ice-T
it.
was like a homeless guy, and this rich guy finds him on the street and is like, "Listen, we'll give you like 10 grand and clean you up, and you can come on this hunting trip with us."
For real?
So he goes on this. So he goes on this hunting trip with all these rich dudes.
Surviving the Game.
That's it, surviving the game. And then at like after dinner, they're like, "Okay, so you have like 20 minutes to get the fuck out of here, and in 20 minutes, we're gonna start aggressively hunting you to kill you."
And his prize is just freedom.
Yeah, he just has.
And they don't intend.
So this is...
No, they don't intend.
This
for
is
him to
such
get
a special week, but let's do it. I'm going to run the movie game. Surviving the Game. Kamar gets to play.
what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, dude, I have a fucking. Oh, no. I didn't load it up. I didn't have time. Dude, we have a movie game jingle.
We have a jingle. Our fans are the best.
And it might have all happened on this crazy fucking backwards day.
Oh, you know what? Here. Hold on.
It's coming. It's coming. This is so exciting.
Hold on.
I don't
Just
know.
hold on.
Up is down. Down is up. I need a pen or something.
Oh, I don't have the fucking. Oh, no. I don't have that little.
I could just play it through the mic.
Here.
But is that doing it justice?
No, it's not. I don't want to do homie wrong like that. Fuck. By the way, shout outs to Jordan for helping us out with the audio. I hope it's.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
What are you looking for? A roach or something?
If I'm doing the movie game, I need fucking.
Oh, you need a pen or some shit. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have anything for you. Kamar, there's a bunch of pens in the block thing there. Two chunks down. Go ahead, walk in front of the camera. No one's watching. Like,
Bye, Mom.
yeah. There's fucking 2 people watch our videos. It's fine. Thank you to you two, by the way. I really appreciate it.
matrixes under the camera.
Yeah.
My first time ever doing the movie game.
This is so exciting. And I feel like very powerful all of a sudden.
I mean, again, it's unfair. Kamar hasn't seen the fucking movie.
With great power comes great responsibility.
All right.
I should put my phone down then. I'm looking at something
Surviving the
else, though.
Game. Let's have a year there, fellas. Surviving the Game, directed by Ernest R. Dickerson and starring our man Ice-T, Rutger Hauer, and Gary Busey. It's loosely
shit.
based on the 1924 short story The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Connell. The film revolves around a homeless man accepting a businessman's offer to work in a remote cabin only to be tricked into being bait for a hunting game and the conflicts they have afterwards. Surviving the game.
Wow, Simon should run the fucking movie game from now on. What's going on here? You're getting fucking shown up, bro.
Gary
That's where we
Busey's the
start.
hunter.
I believe Gary Busey is part of the hunting team, yes.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys in there that they didn't. But anyways, yeah. So there you go, fellas. Let's have a year.
I got 2004.
Oh, you are way off.
Whoa,
Mike.
you're not
Oh,
supposed to. Jesus, never mind.
I
Kamar's
thought-
back of the
I
driver's
thought
seat.
This is
you
my
were-
first movie game.
No, I don't mean that. I mean he's not supposed to say anything here.
Well, I
Fired up.
thought Matt had written down his answer.
I have not. But I know he's way off, so don't you worry about it. I'm gonna go with 95.
So close, Matt. 94.
Fucker.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So
Okay, surviving the game with Ice-T.
we need a box office or a budget and a box office.
I'm ready to go.
fellas.
Hold on.
Now, I was 1994. I was young when this movie came out, and I remember loving it. And I bet you if I watched it today,
You would hate
I
it.
would hate it. But Gary Busey in his prime, Ice-T, never had a prime, but you know,
What are you talking about? Ice-T's still in his prime, motherfucker.
no, I'm saying as
talk that garbage.
As an actor, I don't know if he ever had a prime.
All right, Kamar, you want to go first since you lost the first
Yeah,
round?
I think it cost $15 million to make. It made $30 million.
Wow. I said 15 million to make, 24 at the box office. Look at us go.
Well, let me tell you something about this movie, fellas.
It was a big
We
stinker.
call this one a 1-to-1 because it cost $7.7 million to make and it grossed $7.4 million.
Wow.
Box office, flippity flop.
Wow.
Yeah, the peeps did not like it.
I mean, I was thinking flop when I said 24. I just figured it only made 10, but that's that. I mean, that's a big flop.
John C. McGinley was also in this movie. William McNamara, Charles S. Dutton.
I mean, do you remember how cheesy the ending is?
No, I don't remember really anything about it.
Oh my
You guys
God.
make it look so easy. That was really
Tell me,
hard.
because I'll never watch it, Maddie.
Kamar, are you going to watch it? Okay, spoiler alert to anyone who's going to watch. If you're going to watch Surviving
After I
the
hear
Game,
Simon's
Yeah,
sound effects.
stop listening. 1, 2, 3.
So
Go
he,
ahead, Maddie.
he escapes all of them. He gets out of the forest. There's only one left. He's actually killed all of them. I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
The head dude that's left is like stalking him in the city.
The French-looking guy.
Yeah, and he ends up finding him, and they have like a face-to-face in an alleyway. And the guy, like, I guess somehow gets, I can't remember, like, if it's his gun or he gets Ice-T's gun, but he goes to shoot him, and Ice-T makes some cheesy-ass line about how the gun needs to be cleaned, and the guy fires it, and it, like, backfires in his face. It's fucking, what a piece
That's
of
not really a
shit.
plot spoiler because you still got to go and see how accurate you are to what's going on.
That's
there.
true. You know what?
Totally
That's true.
separate-
Tell us how far off I am.
Totally separate subject. There's new Love, Death, and Robots. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
Jared
watch
texted
those.
me yesterday. Yeah.
Very cool.
I
But
binged it
only
fast,
8.
man.
Yeah, only 8 episodes. But then I rewatched the first season again. They're so amazing. Man.
The yogurt is a really good one.
Yeah, that one's great.
The cat one from season 1 is the best.
The one before the yogurt one, Kamar, where it's the guy from that 70s show, and it looks exactly like him. And they have the Ice Age in the freezer.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that one's
a
that one's
great
incredible. Yeah.
episode.
Well, that's
man.
simulation country. Did you watch? So you watched the newest one already? Love and Robots. Death, Love and Robots.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys the World Jigsaw Championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely exists.
Where does
There
it
are-
take place?
Helsinki.
It happens wherever.
I was going to say Europe too.
There are 3 categories: lone, pairs, or team.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's a 4-day competition.
I
So.
wonder.
Oh,
if,
there, Kamar, 4-day
at
competition.
least 4 days. I wonder.
No, but that doesn't mean that it runs for 4 days for one puzzle.
I get it. It
means
could be
that
like a bracket-
all things
brackets. Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
do 2 puzzles
within
in 4 days.
4 days.
You do 2 puzzles in
No,
4
it
days.
could be 100 puzzles, or who knows?
But I wonder if your team, you have one person because you know you got to separate them.
Well, that's the best way to do it. Yeah.
You got to have your edges and then
Yeah.
your blues and your reds or whatever, and then the other person.
Oh
is
yeah,
just,
it must be amazing to watch. And I
No.
bet,
No.
I
Wait, I would
bet,
describe
I bet
it.
for those team competitions, they must do really big puzzles.
I would assume.
Like we
Imagine it's like a tie. They have a puzzle
What's a big?
off.
1,000 pieces is a big puzzle. though, no?
50,000 piece puzzle. I've seen.
That's obscene.
No, I don't know if there's
that's
that
gonna
many
take you
pieces.
weeks.
No,
How
no, no,
big
but
is the puzzle, or how small are the pieces? Like, what are we doing?
10,000
Yeah, that's-
piece, I think, is the biggest from Ravensburger, which is like a pretty prominent puzzle maker.
They're the gold standard.
I'm sure you want. Here, I'll tell you what the biggest puzzle ever is.
If it's not a Ravensburger, I don't even want it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Ravensburger, their pieces.
Do
are
you
really
know
good.
how puzzles made?
I know how puzzles get made.
Don't they just print it on some cardboard and then fucking stamp that shit with a machine?
But
Correct.
So are all the puzzles that are that like
They're
are-
all the same,
Are
yeah.
one picture in the exact same puzzle though? Do
well,
you-
keep in mind it might
you know what I
be
mean?
off by like a centimeter here or
There's
there.
something that's going like that. That separates the whole thing. Oh no,
I believe it's a press.
It's a punch. It's a punch. So
Yeah.
definitely they're all the same.
Yeah, but like I said,
different
it could be
picture.
Could be off by like a centimeter here or there based on
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the biggest puzzle ever,
Well, we don't want to know ever. 'Cause this is,
54,000 pieces.
that's fucking obscene. See, that one Kamar probably wasn't pressed. Someone probably cut that by hand.
And that
Again, how
Or like-
small are the pieces?
that Ravensburger one I was telling you about, it's a Disney
on.
puzzle actually, and it was 40,000 pieces. But what it was a collage of all different like movie covers. You know what I mean?
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's how they split it up to make it so that you could do the puzzle. Otherwise,
Otherwise, what are we doing here?
I like those 3D
wow,
puzzles.
it would take you 40,000 years.
You
Did those take off,
3D
Simon?
puzzles? What the hell are 3D?
You-
oh yeah,
no,
yeah,
No,
yeah.
they
It
never
was like,
took
they
off.
never took
but
off,
They
eh?
were very cool. We did
You're
one
talking about
of
like you do like Big
a
Ben.
castle or
yeah,
yeah,
we
gotcha.
did one of New York City once. It was amazing, man.
That's kinda
like
cool.
a 3D puzzle of New York City. Yeah, very fucking cool. And when it was done, it was huge. It was like as big as my bubble.
That's one of my problems with puzzles. Is if you don't finish it in a timely manner, it's a lot of space.
Well, and they're so useless to you. At least with those 3D puzzles, you had something at the end.
Mary,
that you could
Mary's
actually
framed a
keep.
puzzle or two.
Yeah, I think you got to frame
I
the puzzle
mean-
if you really want to do something. If you break that up, put
I
it back
would,
in the box.
I
like,
would never frame
I'll
a
be
puzzle.
doing this again.
I
I
wouldn't
might
frame a
like buy
puzzle either.
like a vintage puzzle that was cool and frame it maybe, but not like I just did a puzzle. I'm gonna frame it.
I did a puzzle a couple years ago and was full of piss and vinegar. Like, I'm going to do this and really got it going. I think I got the whole
You got just
board
the
out.
outline
Well,
done.
no, I started to do stuff and then lost things. And like you had other people in the house and everyone just started. they'd walk pie, you know,
Yeah,
because
you
it was,
can't
it was
help
out
it.
there. You can't
Yeah.
help but try to put a piece
We
in.
just did a puzzle that was all bongs and pipes and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was only 500 pieces, but it was hard because it was all glass, you know?
I
So
find that I get a headache after like an hour. Like I got to take a break.
I-
yeah,
Scanning,
it's just that's what
scanning,
I'm saying. My
scanning,
yeah,
scanning.
just fucking.
I'm a very like all over the place person just in general, and I like the structure that comes with puzzle making.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
really got to be kind of organized,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I don't know. I like that.
I wonder if a puzzle is a hardship. The mental
Anguish.
having to stay there and do it. Like,
Oh, you're trying to bring it back to
well, this guy just goes extreme.
Well, you know what, Kumar,
Always.
too? It's like you can see your failure, too. Like, unless you take it, unless you fully commit to just putting it back in the box, like,
just throw it.
It's, you know what I mean? It's just always sitting there, like, staring at the face, like, look, you can't even finish this puzzle, you pussy, you
believe there
pussy.
may be a puzzle wrap. So you can pick up a puzzle and
there,
put it away.
there's a puzzle roll
Puzzle
where
roll.
you roll your puzzle and
So
then
so
you can unroll it.
You
when
can
you're done.
you
Yeah.
can get out of the way.
Yeah,
and
man. I'm
keep
telling
it
I
you.
just
in
know
mind.
if you can
Who
do
would
it, I
know,
know you can do it on
Maddie?
a
Who
big
would
piece
know?
of cardboard, but, you know.
I
Or
know.
if it takes up the whole table, it's taking up the whole table. We talked about The Freshman was a movie game last year.
Last week?
Well, we tried.
Last
It was
year,
the
last week.
was it the freshman or it ended up being something else, wasn't it?
I think
Family business.
Family business. I fucked it
that's
up
right, yeah.
again. But they were talking about that little bird,
Oh yeah.
Or the ortolan?
the ortolan that they soak. They just
drown it in brandy. Yeah,
where you
fucking
have
disgusting.
to put the thing over your head
Yeah.
for two reasons:
Yeah.
either to hide from God or to keep all the flavor in.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's fucking delicious.
They do that on
Billions.
and
Yeah.
they also do it.
I saw it on something else, too.
No, on Succession. Did you watch Succession?
No.
Can't wait. New season coming.
The guy makes the big tall doofus do it.
Oh, I have seen Succession, yeah.
It's a great show.
Yes,
man.
yes, Greg.
It's a really
That's
good
the one
show.
with
Greg, exactly. Kumar.
Macaulay Culkin's brother?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Kieran.
Yeah. And that guy from
He was in The Big Short.
he was in The Big Short. Exactly. I like him.
Jewy looking guy.
Don't talk like that, Matt.
you haven't watched it?
Haven't watched what? Succession? Yeah, I
Succession.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen
Both
two seasons, I think.
There are only two
Then
seasons.
yeah, yeah.
I wish there was another season. It would give me something to watch. Fuck.
The best part, plot spoiler, is when he's about to take over the family and totally railroad his dad. Then he's trying to get drugs and kills the guy.
Yeah.
And then he comes in like,
Well, because the dad covers it up for
I
him.
know. And then the dad sits him down and says, well, don't worry, this is all. And he realizes everything's gone.
Yeah.
I'm
I have,
just
I
a
have
fuck.
nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good dark comedy. One thing, Joe was talking about killing a bear in Alberta.
Yeah.
He killed his one bear up here. I think he should pump the brakes on criticizing Canada. If he's going to come up here and take
He's
our
gonna
wildlife.
kill our
Stay in your
wildlife,
own
yeah.
country and kill a bear if you
Yeah.
want to judge us.
There's
Let-
plenty
let
of
us
bears
do that.
down there to kill.
Ton of bear.
Yeah.
You don't have to come up here and
Yeah,
kill our
what if
our
that's like a
grizzlies.
bear who wants to go to a religious ceremony and can't because of COVID? Like, fuck, Joe.
Yeah.
Go kill bears in fucking Texas where they're free as birds
Although I
to,
feel
to
this
do
lockdown's
any
ridiculous.
religious ceremonies they want. They can be Scientologists and not talk about it. Whatever. Let the bears do whatever the fuck they want.
Well,
That's the Simon
there are
we
a
know
couple
and
moments
love.
this week too. Although I feel lockdown is fucking ridiculous, I don't like it when Joe talks about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can make fun of them, but you can't make fun of them.
Yeah.
They just got that weird thing.
Exactly.
Especially if he's coming
I
here-
can make fun of my slow cousin, but you can't make fun
Especially
of
if
my
he's
slow
going to come up
cousin.
here and kill our bears.
Yeah.
No, I mean, whatever. Fuck the Bears.
Wow. Simon takes a hard stance. Fuck the Bears.
I meant the
okay.
Chicago Bears.
Oh, then I'm with you as a Vikings fan. Couldn't agree more.
But he came around on top of the Meshogi guy. And so instead of, I think if someone is too comfortable, I don't know that person because I'm not them. I don't live that life. But try once a year to try something really challenging. And don't make it a thing that is a thing because then you're competing. Just compete against yourself. I thought that was
Well,
good
I
advice.
think that thing should be hunting a bear. And I think everybody should do that.
Absolutely.
A real bear, not the Chicago Bears.
And then it came down to when he talked about the, and Joe admitted it too, do I want to kill this thing all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like I've caught a fish and had to kill it and not been stoked. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we got a fish. We got to kill it if we're going to eat it. Like, it's flopping around, you're smashing the paddle or whatever. I mean, that's the threshold you have to cross.
I've caught a mouse on like glue trap.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to like, you know, toss them in a bucket of water or something. You know what
Nice.
I mean?
Nice.
And I had a really hard time doing that.
You don't bring out a little D battery with some wires if I can zap it.
Well,
I mean, you got to drown it in a bucket.
you can't go release it because they just come back. Like they can come back from like a mile away.
So
You're never
options
getting
are
it off of that
Put
fucking
it in a
stick
bucket.
pad.
Put it on an
I
airtight
have
jar.
the funniest story about the stick pad. So my mom uses it,
Yeah.
and for some reason the mouse turned over and was walking around with the stick pad on it. It was hilarious, man.
Cool story, bro.
Okay, that's I'm fucking done.
How else?
Let me out of this fucking bubble.
How else do you kill a mouse?
Well, remember your friend and his mouse killing exploits?
Is that a me thing or a Kamar
No,
thing?
Kamar.
Oh, you had a friend, a mouse killing friend?
He went on a
Yikes.
mad mouse killing rampage.
With traps?
Bert
Bird.
with traps, yeah.
That's one way.
Killed
But
like 15 mice.
you could put it in a jar and have it suffocate. That's really cruel. I think drowning in a bucket is the. I mean, you're not going to shoot it.
Well, getting stuck
Take out your BB gun. Pow!
getting stuck on the glue trap is really shitty. Poison is probably the best way for them to go besides the old-fashioned mouse trap because that's just
The backbreaker?
instantaneous. Yeah, the old neck snapper. As long
my
as it
God,
gets
what a
them.
terrible
but
conversation.
The story about Brett, he caught one. It like caught the mouse but didn't kill it, and then it got on its stomach and was like dragging itself around, and he was following the blood through his house. You know what I mean? Because he could see, and then ended
Get a
up
cat.
getting it.
That's
yeah.
the best way.
Get a cat, yeah. It's true.
Some cats are good. Some cats don't do shit, man.
Some cats are good.
If you have a cat that doesn't do shit, that's a defective cat.
Yeah, I think I'd have one.
That's a defective
Our
cat.
Our cat seems defective.
Yeah, I hope you got the gist of what this podcast was about. But at the end, there was a weird point
It was garbage.
when he said
That's the gist.
he had a buddy who was making meth for the bikers,
That was crazy.
and he just got out, which is the weirdest story.
Yeah.
And Joe was like, that guy's a meth head. It made me remember when Joe was talking to Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
about Dr. Carl Hart. And Dave was like,
Let me guess. He can
quit
just get off anytime he wants.
He's
Yeah.
addicted to heroin.
Oh no!
No,
He
no,
does
trust
it for
me. It's
fun.
not, yeah, it's not what you think.
I'm
guy
not
sounds
buying
li-
it.
That guy sounds like a junkie.
It's not what you think.
So, I mean, that was a highlight. Thank God this guy's an author because I thought he was a little monotone to listen to.
Oh, this was such a fucking boring part. Like enough, Joe. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it now. Enough with these health things. Move on to fucking something else. Get into something else.
But is it a necessary thing for a book to have pushback? Because that was Joe thing. Joe was like, I don't think you're gonna have much pushback on this, and I don't think anyone's gonna disagree what he's putting out there. You know what I mean? It's not controversial.
I don't think anybody's reading it or not. You know what I mean? Like, is this like breaking news?
Yeah, it seemed very Captain Obvious. He went on this hunting expedition and had to try to make some money out of it.
I mean, let's give Joe, let's extend the olive branch. We all complain about the fact that, like, the news never talks about how we should all be exercising or living healthier. That's like never a narrative. So Joe feels it's his place to, when every other podcast is just like a, kind of a fucking laugh it
Okay,
up. I get what you're saying. Once a month. Yeah, sure. I
Once a
understand.
month.
I'm
No,
just-
once a week.
Okay.
Joe should have this sort of content once a month. You're saying?
Yeah, that's totally enough to remind everybody. Like, but it really seems like every. It's just
Or
it's overkill, man.
This goes the road of MMAs, and we have a buy.
No, we
No,
can't.
no, we
there-
don't. We're not just stipulating all sorts of wild
It's-
shit now.
What if
my
he
point
came out and
mo-
said that though? Sorry, it's not.
If he said, "Hey, JREE, listen, what's up?" I'm gonna.
No, he all of a sudden he started doing MMA,
Yeah.
and then he said Joe Rogan hunting and wilderness.
It would be nice if Joe had two shows.
Yeah.
I don't mind the hunting and wilderness. I'll take those ones. But if he had two shows, one that was JRE and one that was like JREH, JRE Health.
Yeah.
And he could just fucking run whatever nonsense he wants on that other channel. You know what? Put that one behind a paywall. Do whatever the fuck you want with that with
make the people
JREH.
pay to be healthier. Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm with you. Once a month seems like
I was just joking. But
seems like a good
anyways.
number. Okay, well, let's move on. We've given this
Yeah.
guy like just
Yes.
fucking 100% too much time.
Too
here.
much time.
Can you rate it, please, Simon? We'll start with you, if you don't mind. Sorry, Kamar, did I step on your feet there?
No, I was about to say, rate it, boys.
Okay, sorry. I didn't want to.
I give this one a 1.5.
Kamar?
I'm going to have to mirror Simon's score and give it a 1.5 too.
We have an agreement.
Fuck yeah.
I give it a 1.5 as well. In case it wasn't clear.
Just for me, I've planted trees. I've worked construction. I work a hard labor job now. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I could use some comfort.
Well, I mean, some of the comfort stuff you mentioned was like, buddy, this is like kind of human progression. Like, we live in homes, you know? Like, okay, what do you want to say? So we should just be out there naked, sunning our anuses 24 hours a day and like be I don't know. It just
It might be good for a 16-year-old
That might be good for you, Maddie.
who's been snowplow parented.
been terrible lately. Not my anus, my taint.
No, but I'm just saying, maybe sunlight's the answer for your old tainteroo.
Yeah, I just fucking sun it up.
Just get out
My neighbors
there,
will
spread
absolutely
eagle.
love me.
That would be awesome.
You know when
Maddie
you do the
just spends,
bicycle?
like,
You can do the bicycle.
6 hours a day just sunning his taint.
Yeah. Get it in while you can, boys. All right, let's move on.
1650.
Russell Peters. Russell Peters.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I got a sauna. I should have said that in How's My Week. But I'm a sauna guy now.
Humble brag over
Yeah.
here. This fucking
What are you,
guy.
180? 200?
What are you, a boxing coach?
No, what do you sauna at?
Oh,
What do you mean?
I thought you were sizing him
Like
up.
how hot does
Russell
it get?
Peters asked Joe, like, what are you, 180? Because, go on.
It's sauna talk.
How hot do you do it?
See, the fact that you didn't understand what he was saying means you're not a sauna guy
Mine,
yet.
You're a poser.
Yeah.
my thermo pushes past 100 degrees Celsius. So basically, I should have my insides boiling.
It's clear that Russell Peters listens to Joe Rogan.
Sorry.
I would say, I don't think he listens to maybe every one of them, but I believe he is a listener, yeah.
Most. There were just a couple moments where Joe started talking about something, and Russell Peters said out loud, "Yeah, I know, I heard it," and Joe then proceeded to
Tell
talk
him
about the whole
anyway.
thing.
Yeah.
To mansplain it to him?
Well, I don't know if Joe listens
Joe listens to other people?
to his guests. So
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if he's paying
Especially
attention.
if he's waiting for Jamie to pull something up, you can totally
Oh, he's
hear
not- he's no
zoned
longer
out.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
He's looking at
that
the
must be
screen.
so frustrating for the guests. I think.
Except for Russell Peters, very happy to be there. I think
Yeah.
this is a grumpy old comic who's searching for relevance.
Oh, that's not how I read it at all, Kamar. I
Oh.
read it like this is a guy who was really down on money the last time he was on because he was going through something. And this was him getting on to totally plug his podcast and to get himself back on track.
Yeah, because he's irrelevant.
Well, I don't think it's because it's irrelevant. I think it's because he didn't have to do that before because he was so rich. So he probably just like spent a lot of time giving away watches and being a really nice guy and just doing stand up. And now he's having to like find different avenues and hustle. And
I just think he got too comfortable. Guess his net worth,
right now,
according to the internet.
holy shit,
$4 million.
9 million.
75 million.
No way.
75 million? Holy fuck.
Okay, well,
Unless he's made some really bad investments, I think Russell has an issue where his position in comedy is.
maybe.
You know what I mean? He's had massive success, but he's not in conversations.
Did you not get the impression, Maddie? Was I the only one that he was like strapped for cash?
I'll tell you why I didn't get that, because multiple times he said he was involved or invested in something that seemed like it had some potential.
Well, he may have overextended himself then.
I think we got in the same argument the last time he was on, where I was reading it this way and you guys weren't seeing it like that. Now
Maybe
that
it
I
happens. It
think about
happens. I mean, if he's really worth 75 million, you're right. Maybe he overextended himself. Maybe.
I mean, maybe
He's
worth-
just invested in a bunch of stuff that's got to come in.
I mean,
Plus,
he said he
he's
was
losing-
making an app. That's expensive as shit.
I know, but you're not worth 75 million and ever strapped for cash. I don't think,
Unless
you
he's
know what I
losing
mean?
half of it,
to
in a
his
div-
wife.
yeah.
in his divorce.
Well, he found somebody he loves now who's his own age.
But do you feel like he's sort of woulda, shoulda, coulda guy?
No, I think he's just a guy who really was like living life to the absolute fullest and something got away from him.
He came in wearing a John Jacques Machado hat, trying to talk about he rolls. And then Joe, how much you roll? Once a month, not as much as I like to. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's because of COVID. I think he does roll a lot, though, Kamar.
According to him, he says once a month.
No, I know. Okay. Yeah.
That's how I just feel like he came in to try to get Joe to kick his ass again, because last time he was on, Joe got him to, not right away, but finally got him to do his podcast. But the pandemic made him realize all this can go away.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that.
Do you think Joe should be banned from using the word preposterous? Preposterous power.
No, I think whatever. He has a lot. It's like Joey Diaz and tremendous. I love that he fucking every time he says it,
It's tremendous,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Joey's tremendous is far better than Joe's preposterous.
I agree, but it's still, let him
When
let
you
him try
say
to.
preposterous, it sounds crazy.
Because it's a
Sounds
crazy
like a
word.
fruit.
Preposterous.
Can I have a cold slice of preposterous?
I just feel
That
like
word just sounds crazy now. I'm like, is it even preposterous?
that's why
Is there no R in
that's
there?
why it should
Like,
be
what's
banned.
going on?
Yeah, it's preposterous.
Yeah, isn't it?
preposterous.
Yes.
So why are you saying it like that?
Preposterous.
You had me all fucked up.
Are you kidding? You're talking about how he's saying a word there, frontier?
Okay, dude, I'm not going to do this with you every time, Matt. I'm right. I proved myself to be right. It's the root of a French word. Like, this is stupid. This is stupid, Matt. I shouldn't have to explain this to you all the time.
Yeah, you're going to have to, though.
I just don't think. I don't want to take anything away from Russell, but he's not a prolific comic like most in his would be. Like, he was talking about how he's got a company that edits his clips,
Yeah.
and he says, I only do crowd work. I feel like he only does crowd work. Like, his last 4 specials have been basically crowd work. Then it's sort of, not to say thematic, but
I haven't seen a Russell Peters special since his Comedy Now. Like the one that made him big.
Could I just interject for a second here?
Sure.
So it's preposterous.
That's what he said after.
Yeah, well, no,
Preposterous.
I'm just telling you for the
preposterous.
record.
Yeah.
But we were saying how this word is nonsense.
Yeah.
It is nonsense, man. It's pre, which is before,
Post.
and post. Like, the whole word doesn't make any sense.
but
Before,
the
after.
power is preposterous.
And it's contrary to reason or common sense, utterly absurd or ridiculous, which is exactly what that word is, where you have pre and post right beside each other.
It's ironic.
Well, someone went in on the subreddit and
It's
tried
an
to.
Alanis song.
Someone went on the subreddit and tried to propose a Joe Rogan drinking game, and it was when he talks about or does plugs. But I think every time
Well,
he's
there are
preposterous,
There
would be
are
enough.
Joe Rogan drinking games.
Of course. There's
Yeah.
drinking games for everything.
Preposterous though. That's my drink game.
There's every time
You
he
could make a
says,
drinking
"Pull
game
it
for
up,
this fucking
Jamie." Like, it already exists.
All right. Take it down a notch.
I'm not angry about it. I just, that guy who suggested it should like focus his attention elsewhere to things that haven't been done already.
Are you done?
No, let that sit there. Let that thought sit there. Let it resonate.
You know what? Seriously.
Is Cheers a problem?
No, I don't mind Cheers.
I love Cheers. I couldn't disagree.
You do something nice for me, I say
with-
Cheers,
Yeah,
and you're
cheers.
like, yeah,
More.
great,
Yeah.
cheers. Like, I don't.
Cheers can never be misconstrued as like a.
I'm a huge
like a
Cheers
passive
guy.
aggressive.
I
yeah,
use
fucking
it.
Cheers. No,
I use it in emails and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
cheers.
cheers,
for sure.
Simon.
So
Yeah.
there's a disconnect there. I remember when I lived in Australia, people would say "ta." That drove me crazy
That I don't like.
because you can't even say the thank.
Like ta-ta.
You've got it so much out, but if you just did something nice for someone, they say "ta," and that was a thank you or cheers.
Yeah, that's not enough. I'm gonna need the whole word.
Both words.
I'm gonna
Thank and you.
I'm gonna need the angst.
I want it enunciated. Oh, you want just thanks?
I just
Okay.
want the
Thanks.
angst.
That's how I
part.
felt.
Gotcha.
I need a
gotcha.
little more than the tha.
Yeah, it's that seems a bit aggressively quick.
Well, that makes
You're
sense
right.
though.
But
for
I have
the
no problem with
Aussies.
Cheers, and I have a problem with Russell Peters having a problem with Cheers.
And Joe too. Joe jumped right on that anti-Cheers bandwagon.
I think he's
Probably
just
'cause
being
it's-
nice to Russell.
probably 'cause
and I'm
it's
sure he says Cheers
Canadian.
all the time.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Well, we know he says cheers all the time when he raises his glass to somebody.
yeah, and you're not actually cheering then, Russell. Wasn't that his thing? He was like, "You're not.
I don't know.
They're not really
Wonder where the
cheering."
Russell,
Cheers
yeah, went
comes
way
from.
too little. Like, you're not cheering. Like, it's like, cringe.
interesting.
Trust me, when I
Cringe.
say thank you half the time, I'm not really thanking you. I don't really give a shit. It's just a polite thing to do.
And then it was interesting how the discussion sort of got into hardship again. And Joe's like, we need safety to innovate and comfort to innovate was sort of his theory. So he forgot what he just heard. Or,
day before.
or is there a balance that you need to hardship to appreciate things, but we need safety to move forward?
I mean, I think you need both. Don't you need a good mix of both? Isn't that what you were just saying?
I guess that's what Joe's proposing, but not in the same sentence.
Because don't they say necessity is the mother of all invention? So technically, hardship would be the best for invention because through hardship, you'd have some sort of necessity, right? That would make you come up with some
Yeah,
sort of
when
innovation.
you have water that's killing your entire population, you work really hard to figure out a desalination or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have no clean drinking water and it's all ocean, you're going to figure out a way to turn that water. That was Joe's whole point, right?
Yeah.
How does anybody not have clean drinking water? Shouldn't that be the number one priority, to figure out a way to make ocean water drinkable? I'm being serious here.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about all the scientists working on what we would consider useless
Working
nonsense.
on quantum physics about black holes that we're never going to encounter.
But not in unison. This is my underlying problem. You know what I mean? There's a scientist in Argentina working on that. There's a scientist
Well, you can't have everybody working on the same thing, but they should
No,
should
but-
at least be.
multiple scientists working on quantum stuff, but not together, is what I'm assuming is going on.
Forget that for a second, though. Like,
Yeah, but that's actually good. Because then you come up with your own theories completely oblivious to, or not completely, because it's the age of technology.
Well, I was gonna say for the post, Joe, but just for China just landed on Mars.
Okay. Like they
NASA
have a
just-
Chinese...
but they're not working-
There's two Uyghurs up there.
allegedly.
Allegedly, but you'd seem like if we're going to Mars, let's work on this together. But there's still competition, and maybe that is actually a good thing.
Well, like China's
That
building
it's a race, but I just think collaboration is the key.
is building their own space station, right? Like they want.
Well, I'm sure it's built in up there.
Well, that I'm pretty sure it's because they want to use hybrid monkey men as their astronauts, and that shit just doesn't fly on the normal space station.
Yeah.
So they had to figure it out. You know, they're not sending. Well, I mean, I'm surprised they're just not sending Uyghur Muslims up there. It's
That's
not
what
like
I
they
just
give
said.
a fuck about them.
He steals my joke 2
Really?
seconds later. Yeah.
You said
I
that?
said, what are they going to send up 2 weeks? Because he said that China went to the moon, and I said, what are there, 2 Uyghurs up there?
What a hack! What a hack!
Oh, whatever, Simon. Same premise. Good work, buddy. Good
Kamar,
joke.
can you move this chair a little bit so I can glare angrily at you?
No, because there's a light that I still would not be able to see it.
Asshole.
Oh my god! And then they went into
Thank
the
you, Matthew.
origin of humans, and we're all black.
Well, you knew that already, Kamar.
So how, like they said, the stupidest person is a racist. Like the disconnect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they probably don't even believe in evolution, so... Right?
They believe Adam and Eve and a rib.
Yeah, and that's white people, presumably.
Well, that's going to go in the next couple of years, I'm sure.
But they wouldn't even be like that. The people who wrote that would have all been happening in like Mesopotamia, you know, that area. And those people would all be dark. So just by virtue of like where the story is taking place. So like skinheads and Nazis, you're barking up the wrong tree, man.
Yeah.
Go focus your attention on something a little more
you-
productive.
Yeah, go do some quantum physics, you useless fuck.
What is it? Learn to code, dipshit.
Do you think Russell Peters has been facing a lot of backlash recently?
Backlash.
Backlash
That sounds like a dessert.
because of how much he's complaining about wokeness and stuff.
Who?
Like Russell, like not quite supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to this, but was complaining a lot about wokeness or the kids these days or content of what he's putting out there. And I'm imagining his old stuff is getting roasted on the internet. You know what I mean? Like this race is. I don't understand why else he would complain.
Are you telling me that Russell Peters does not have new work out there? He's still doing his old act? I don't think that's true.
I think it's just his act.
No, I don't think that's true. I think that he's writing new material and he has been for a while, but I could be mistaken.
But I think most of his material is crowd work, so there is no writing involved. Like he got too comfortable. There was one point where he, did you feel like he threw Canadian comedians under the bus?
Yep.
Like he could have put someone on.
Could have put 100 people on.
Well, you can't put 100 people on in a podcast, but instead of saying, he goes, I go up to Canada and everyone's just doing the same jokes and it bums me out. It's like, he's not, I work with a lot of comedians. I've never heard anyone say a good thing about Russell Peters. What does that tell you?
Listen, man, I don't want to get into a whole thing.
Okay.
But like, you don't say anything nice about any comedians, right?
I say,
no.
yes, I do.
I don't know, man.
I do know.
Do you?
Do you think I bash every comedian?
Yeah.
Not true.
You bash almost 90% of the comedians that come on, so I don't know when to take you like you actually dislike this guy or think he's lame.
I love
or
Mark
is
Norm.
this
I
just-
love Theo. I love Andrew Schulz. I love John Doerr. I love a lot of comedians.
I would say that there's like a, I don't know what it is. I can never, there's sometimes where I'm like, Kamar's going to hate this person for sure. And they come on and you're like, this guy's fucking great. And
Well, no, that wouldn't hold true if I hate all comedians. Though.
Okay,
Well, I'm not saying all.
Not
Hey,
all.
you said
90%
all.
of
No.
comedians that come on Joe Rogan. 90% of the
No
comedians. you
way.
have
I
nothing
love
nice
Annie
to
Letterman.
When
I just keep naming
you
comics
named-
alike.
You named one female comedian. Like all the other chicks that come on, you're not down with.
Not true. Just Ali Makovsky. I didn't like that one guy because he stole my
Not-
thunder because he got pulled off stage.
Okay,
Where is he now?
Hold
He didn't
on.
really get a rope
Where-
bump.
where is
I
he
love
now?
Tim Dillon.
this is what we're gonna do. You just keep talking. We're gonna play a little game here. Come on.
Okay.
Yep.
Emojis is a new language. Is that like an evolution, de-evolution thing?
yes,
That's kind of cool.
language
eh?
is very complex and it's,
Oh, now, do you think it works in cycles? Like, we could go full emojis and then get back to words, or it'll be neural net and just.
Do you guys
Language no longer.
use emojis? Or are you one of those like, no, I'm too cool for emojis?
I held out for so long.
And you,
I was
Kumar?
I held out for so long. I use the occasional one.
Is using, when you press the thing and you send a meme, is that the same thing as
No,
an
that's-
emoji?
Oh, the
something
gifts,
different.
you mean?
That's
I do
something
gifs more than emojis.
No, but just
I like
like,
a
the
good GIF.
little stupid ones that come with the iPhone. You don't use those?
Sometimes.
I use them all the time. I find they're the best way to
Without words?
No, with words to clarify the intent of those words. Like if I'm like sure because I don't feel like typing, but then I throw a little peace sign, that's like a nice sure,
Yes.
Or
you're using emojis to provide context.
exactly. And that's what I think they're the most useful for. Because so many things are misconstrued in this age of only words being able to get out so quickly that this helps to
Like the old Arch
clarify or
Barker joke.
soften
There's
the
no
blow.
sarcastica. Like it's a font. So you can write something. I'm being sarcastic.
yes,
Yeah.
there's no sarcastica. That's a great joke. Who
Arch-
made that
Arch
joke?
Barker. He's hilarious.
That's a comedian.
Another
but
comedian you like. Oh
he's
my
never-
God, here
He's
it
never
comes.
been on
Get the
Rogan.
fuck outta
He's never been
here.
on Rogan. Oh my! You know what, Kamar?
Hold on. I will say this, Kamar. It's at least 50%.
No way.
If they're not in a, if let's hold on.
I've
if
named
they're not
three
in a,
comedians I don't like.
River
if they're not an established-
in Egypt.
Denial.
Yeah, that's what you're in. Sorry.
Whatever.
Go
No,
ahead.
it's
man.
fine. Listen, we all have our own things.
I
It's
was
no
going to
big
bring
deal.
up the list and we were going to go through them, but I'm not going to do that, man.
Bring up the
Be the
list.
bigger
No.
man, Simon.
Bring up the list. I love me
It's
some
not
Jim
even,
Brewer.
It's not even worth it.
I like more comedians than I don't like. Joe doesn't know what acid reflux is.
That's weird.
I how does that? What does that feel like?
Hasn't everybody had acid reflux before?
Can
Am
I
I
tell
like
you
kidding
a
myself
weird,
here?
You know what the weirdest thing is? Is acid reflux is the only ailment in my life that I can think of where once I heard the word together, I went, I've had that. I know what that is. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I remember I used to get it so bad. I still get it bad sometimes.
I had it as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, I used to
Yeah,
get it
I
terribly.
used to have to take this medicine for it. But
Gaviscon?
like, no, not Gaviscon. That's crazy though. I was taking Gaviscon for like heartburn.
yeah.
It worked. It was so good. You know what I mean? So I would just use it. And then you find out that it's like terrible for you. It was yanked off the market.
It probably eliminates your gut biome, which we know is so important.
Well, it was like doing way worse stuff than that.
I don't know if
Anyways.
anything's worse than that.
Who's touching your kids?
But I-
Gaviscon the reach around.
Later on, I think is the next one, or Kumia, they describe heartburn, and Joe knows what heartburn is. Is acid reflux and heartburn the same thing?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. No.
There we go. That was my own
Like
problem.
acid reflux or heartburn can be controlled with Tums, let's say. Acid reflux is like way worse than that and probably needs like a.
I think they're the exact same thing.
I don't think they are.
I think they're the exact same thing, and it's a diet thing. And as Russ alluded, happens when you eat late at night or when you're tired.
But I think acid reflux is like something that you get, let's say, and heartburn is something kind of we all experience.
I would say though, if anyone ate a cold piece of pizza and down a glass of orange juice, you're probably going to feel some heartburn or acid reflux.
Do you know what the craziest acid reflux in the world is? And it's instant. And it's crazy. If you reheat Saint Hubert's French fries and eat them,
Oh, yeah?
you're in for a world of hurt. Like it's the next 2 hours
Shame
of your
on
life.
you for reheating fucking
Oh,
French
trust
fries.
me, I know.
The worst is when you eat like dry bread too fast and you get the hiccups. You know that?
Oh, get ready, dude. You're gonna have the hiccups for a week. I find that smoking a cigarette laying on your back was always
Wow, life of leisure over here, eh?
Like, what were you doing? Just waking up in the middle of the night and
Well,
having a
yeah,
cigarette?
that's
when I was young.
that-
I used to smoke in bed.
That's
for
okay.
sure.
Not a good
okay,
idea.
smoking inside, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's just so far removed from
Oh, I know, but when
consciousness.
oh, dude, yeah, when I was young, especially when I was a drunk, I'd wake up, roll over, and light a cigarette in bed for sure.
trying to remember the
Simon,
last
you don't remember
time
I lit my
smoked
fucking bed on
Yeah,
fire?
yeah, no, I do. I'm just thinking how fucking dangerous that is in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah,
Like,
not smart.
It used to be total commonplace to smoke inside.
Yeah,
yeah, that's weird, eh? Thinking about how the bars used to just be all smoke, and then restaurants used to put like a rope, and this side was smoking and this side wasn't.
yeah.
Better days. Better
Dude,
days.
First of all, I remember like cigarette vending machines, but I remember Babylon. The first time I went in there, seeing like all the bartend, like I remember Natalie smoking a cigarette while pouring drinks.
That's crazy.
That's freedom, eh?
Dude, to think
That's a libertarian. That's a libertarian
freedom.
environment.
no, but that's one of those things where they have to take that freedom away because it's so bad.
Did you just
for
ash it
everybody.
might be?
Dude, for sure. I remember too the fucking ashtrays at Babylon were just a disaster. Like,
And just how easy it was for kids to get cigarettes. Like, I can remember being
the Saint Hubert's on Bank Street had a fucking
so
cigarette
did
vending machine.
So did the Mexicali Rosas on Bank Street.
And it didn't ID
like,
anybody.
No, and it was like $2 a pack.
They were
back then.
$5, but
Sure,
whatever,
whatever.
man.
Yeah, you just
$5
pulled the
in
lever.
quarters.
You pulled a lever and a pack of
Those
cigarettes fell out.
machines were crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Crazy. I can remember like vividly being down there and seeing the cigarettes my dad smoked in there and thinking to myself, I'm going to be different and pulling a different fucking lever.
Dude, not to mention, do you remember? I forget what the name was, but Hopewell, where the there was a second cup there, and now it's like Taylor's Wine Bar, I guess, at the corner of Bank and Sunnyside. There was a fucking convenience store there for the longest time. It was that
Bushies for a while.
that guy sold cigarettes. I remember being 12 years old and going in there and being like, pack of Demore, like pack of Demore, like regular. And him being like, oh, are you 19? And me be like, yeah, for sure. And dude, just like, yep, for sure, done. Cigarettes.
Well, we used to buy
Freedom.
singles from the like First Avenue store.
Lucy's.
We were obviously fucking not of age. Like there was no doubt about that.
I started by stealing cartons from the grocery store I worked at.
Oh, wow.
I just had so many cigarettes I didn't know what to do. I started
What
smoking
a,
them.
what a criminal.
What?
What a criminal.
The best is I remember going to a friend's house to sell his stepmother a carton, and she lectured me for like 45 minutes about how stealing's wrong and smoking's wrong.
But bought the
And then bought the
smokes.
cigarettes. Like, what the hell are we doing here? There's no way to do business.
Yeah,
Just take the
fuck
money,
you.
lady.
Shut up.
Do I know whose mom it was?
Yes, you do.
Give me a clue.
Yes, you
Give me a
do.
clue.
She's not a Goldberg, but she's related to the Goldbergs.
Gotcha.
A lot of fight talk in this,
Yeah.
which makes my eyes glaze over. The worst part, though, is when they got in the draw talk. Well, yeah. It was a draw. No, it was a majority draw. No, it was a split decision, and just like working it out.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Joe came around to agree with Russell said in the same way. Again, example of Joe not listening to what the people say. Who's your favorite commentator? Is it Joe Rogan?
I like John Anik.
John Anik. He's on the off nights. Is he the
No,
ginger?
he's the guy that's always there with Joe and Daniel Cormier.
He's a short hair fellow.
Yeah.
Simon?
You know what? I've never really thought about it before.
I also really like Bisbing.
I like Joe.
I like Bisbing.
I like Joe better than Daniel Cormier. I like John Anik. And I like Bisbing. Yeah, I'm with you.
But
Felder's not bad.
Cormier's come
Yeah.
around to be all right, eh?
Felder's
Yeah,
all right.
Cormier's okay. I mean, there's none of... Listen,
I don't like Cormier at all.
I don't ever listen and go, man, I hate the announcing right now.
Thug Rose. I hate him.
Often you
Fuck.
watch it without any sound, though, don't you?
Yes, I often
that's
am
not-
listening to Rogan while I also find, though, I'll say this. When you take out the audio, you watch it in a more pure form in the sense that, like...
It's art.
Not art. You can just make a better decision on your own.
Oh, but
who
with the
you
fight,
think...
no one's saying...
That's what I'm saying. You're not being fucking swayed one way by Joe being like, so-and-so looks really good here, or any of that. You're just on pure what you're seeing, you make your own
what if
decision.
they affect the judges? Like if the judges could hear the commentary, especially when there was no audience?
Okay, you know what? I had this conversation with myself last night because...
Okay.
Well, no. Because I
Here
thought
we
about...
go.
Well, no. I thought
won
about
the
this.
debate?
No, I thought about this. Yeah, I won.
Dr. Flatthew Discman.
I thought about this, Kamar. They always, no matter how bad all 3 or 5 rounds were, both fighters always put their arms up. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, do they do that because they think the judges are still watching? Like, I wonder who's going to put their hands up. You know what I mean? Like, I always assume...
He thinks he won, I guess. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, ooh, better give him an extra point. Like, I just don't think it works that way.
It's the same way when a gymnast falls and
Yeah.
they still put their arms
the,
up at
present,
the end.
the presentation of...
Not always, though. Like, did Tony put his hands up last night?
No, Tony was visibly
There's times
angry.
where
Yeah.
people are...
Didn't he get his foot broken?
But it went the distance, is what I'm saying. And he's
Yeah.
saying, well, at the end of the fight, no matter what... There's often times where guys like, oh, no.
I get it, but even last night I saw there was one fight where the guy had it was fairly obvious he had lost, and he was walking back to his corner as the final bell rung, and his cornerman came up and slapped him on the back and picked his arm up and put it up and was like, I mean, I think it's part of a pride thing too. Like, dude, you put your arms up because you went the distance.
Anyone going in there is a winner.
They can't.
That's how I look at it. You're fucking, well, dude. I was just sorry to cut you off. People that boo at those things can fuck right off. Like they were booing Benish. Oh, what the fuck is his name? Daniil. Fuck.
Okay, come on.
Danush.
Dariush.
Dariush.
Benil Dariush. They were booing him, and I was like, just because you guys like Tony, this guy's a fucking warrior. He went in there. I'm sorry.
beat
I
his
cut you
ass.
off.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't even remember what I was saying.
Oh, now I feel terrible.
It doesn't matter.
No, you're making a...
Oh, there's no way that that's swaying the judges in any way. That can't be why they're doing it. That's ridiculous.
They're ticking or something.
Do you know what I mean?
This was the argument I had in my head, though. You know, I was like...
it must just be like, that's what you do. That's what you've always
Well,
done.
again, I think it's more a pride thing.
Yeah.
Like, listen, you might not have won,
You're
but you
not-
made it 3 rounds
You're
without
not
getting
giving
KO'd.
up on your team. You're
Yeah.
all of those things. Because it's the judges are like, oh shit, I didn't watch. What's the guy doing at the end? Oh, he put his hands up. He must have won.
Well, that's
You
what I was
fuck.
saying. Yeah, listen.
There I am, stealing your fucking bits again, eh, Maddie?
I'm glad we're here together. So.
I had a bit of discussion with myself last night as well.
See?
About
Fuck,
Not
here
the
we
only
go.
one.
Here we go.
think Joe makes around $250,000 to call a fight. We don't
I
know
think it's
that.
$500,000 per,
Even more.
Per fight?
That's too much.
I believe, yeah.
Well, it's okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it's $250.
Do you
okay.
think it'd be cool of Joe to say give $50,000 of his money to the fighter or split it to the fight he enjoyed the best?
That's ridiculous.
He's
Is
never
it?
going to do that. Yeah, why would he?
Well, just
it's not his
that's-
place.
yeah,
it's not
that's
his
not his
place to
place
pay
to
them.
do
because
that.
he
That's-
It's the
started this
billion-dollar corporation's place.
He wanted a nice meal.
No,
he
he
wanted a
get-
nice meal, some tickets for his friends, and just have a good time.
That's
I don't know if you saw though. Last night was the first time where they raised the bonuses from 50 to 75K.
Well, I think it'd be cool if Joe did that.
he
doesn't have
gives
to do
them
anything.
all exposure by having them on his show, just like he gives exposure to everybody else who he has on his show.
I got to say though, Kamar, I don't know if you saw it, but Benil Dariush, when he beat Tony, he's like, Joe, I don't know if it's cool, but I want to call someone out. And Joe's like, yeah, man, call it whoever you want. He's like, I'm actually going to call it your boy. And I was like, who's this going to be? And he was like, Elon Musk. Where's my car? My wife's had a car on order for 5 months. She's pregnant. Where's our car?
Exposed.
He's my new favorite for sure. After that, man.
I was so happy I had the sound on.
I'm a Dariush guy now.
I think that's why Elon wants to get to Mars because
Yeah, he's like, I'm never going to fulfill these orders. I got to get out of here.
I got to get out of here.
No, think about this is perfect, man. This is exactly what Elon's doing. He's planning escape routes, right? Mars, underground, and if all else fails, he just implants a chip in your head and you forget that you ordered a Tesla.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like where you're going.
Or he gives you a vaccine.
Simon, you're just riding around on a bike, but your VR thinks it's a Tesla.
And you're just praising Elon.
Yeah, you're like, this thing's fucking great.
And these
Google
guys,
glasses.
That's
In
what I'm
conjunction with the
saying.
Google
That's what I'm
glasses,
saying,
we said Tesla for everyone.
Yeah.
these
believe me.
guys drive by in Porsches just shaking their head at you.
Yeah,
like,
but you're like, yeah, I'm good.
you're like, they don't like hybrid cars.
You're like, it doesn't quite do the 0 to 60 as advertised.
No,
but
it tells you it does, Matt. You think it does.
you're late everywhere. You're like, I don't get it.
The
dude.
chip tells you, but really you're riding like a lawnmower.
Do you guys like the idea of a strip bar?
Strip clubs?
Well, Russell Peters tells his first story about going to the strip bar.
I have a million strip club stories.
So there's a fight there or whatever, but he's like, I don't care. Like, it's such a, it's
It's a coming of age story.
It's a coming of age story, but it's cool that society has. We just need a couple taverns where men at any time can go see a naked woman.
It's weird that strip clubs are legal, but prostitution is illegal.
Well, dude, it's there's that old Family Guy joke. Like, all you have to do is set up a camera, and all of a sudden it's a porno, and that's totally legal.
If you're paying for some, yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You sign a waiver, you set up a camera, and all of a sudden you're making pornography.
Every hooker should be. No, I'm an executive producer.
Yeah, we're making a porno. I make 10 a day.
Every time, man. OnlyFans,
Yeah.
Did
whatever.
you guys ever watch that show with who's actually in trouble right now, being Me Too'd, James Franco? But we'll talk about him later on.
No, he's not getting Me Too. He's just getting dropped by his buddy.
Anyway, well, no, he got Me Too.
No, he did. I have an interesting
He got
story
Me
about
Too
that.
like a
though.
year or two ago, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
The stank is still on him.
But he's untouchable.
What do you mean? Like they just had a thing where they asked Seth Rogen. They just talked about this.
But this is like it happened 2 years ago. He got outed for grooming girls at like acting schools or whatever, and they asked Seth Rogen. It's like
they're just talking to him about it now.
as a result of that, well, Seth Rogen, not James Franco.
Dude, I have a female cousin who lives in Toronto, and James Franco started following her when she was like 16 or 17, I think. I can't remember. I remember she posted it everywhere. She was like, "This is insane. James Franco follows me." I believe it.
It was like a Crystalia situation.
I don't know if he ever messaged her. I think he just followed her.
Well, this is interesting, or is it a Brian Callen situation? Who's back on the Fighter and the Kid?
We're gonna get to all of this. Just hold on. What I was talking about,
Sorry.
James Franco, was because of the show.
Freaks and Geeks.
No, it's about porn.
The one about the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. He
The
plays.
Grind?
He
Not
plays
the Grind.
twins.
What the fuck is it? It's on HBO.
Yes, correct.
With
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's
Yes,
sister.
exactly.
What the fuck is the name of it?
She is like a stripper, or no, a
No,
prostitute.
she's a prostitute who turns
who's-
into a porn.
Thank you,
Yeah.
producer. It's very fitting to this conversation, actually.
That show's really good, actually.
Anyways, move on.
Nice callback.
What the fuck is the name of that show?
It's called the. I'll find out.
Stand? No, it's not.
It's something
that's
with
the
an
fucking-
S, though. I think, Maddie.
Okay, so I'm on to something.
Yeah, just hold on. I'll find
Joe
out.
gave a shout
We'll
out to
move on.
Shane Gillis's
Oh, he's going to be on the podcast,
short.
I think.
Have you seen it?
No.
No.
Trump speed dating.
No.
Oh, I think like him getting fired from
Was the
Sun
best
Life
thing
was
that ever
probably
happened.
the best thing. Because at the time of this podcast, it had 29,000. Now it's 128,000. Hopefully that was a Rogan bump, but it's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
Trump sitting with these women, and it's very funny, and he's really good. Shane Gillis.
The Deuce.
The
Deuce.
Deuce. No S.
No S, but it was Deuce.
Now
Thanks for stretching that. For
I
me,
may
Simon.
be the hater here, but there's a point where Russell Peters like, oh, he's a really good friend. I just did a podcast. What's his name?
Yeah, but Joe caught him on too. Joe was like, he's a really good friend of yours,
Well,
but you don't know his name. Like,
exactly this sort of thing about Russell. Like, I don't know. It just, I don't think he's disingenuous, but I think he's not. Who
I mean,
he
that
thinks he
clearly
is.
sounded disingenuous. When you're like my good friend, but I can't remember their name. I can remember all of my good friends' names.
And we've accused Russell Peters of like trying to name drop on why he's relevant in the conversations. He drops Andrew Scholes, Eddie Bravo, and then he goes, "Is Sam Chumley out here?"
Joe quickly,
I don't know.
Joe
Like,
quickly, but then was like onto something else.
I wouldn't know. Like, it was the most passive aggressive way to say no. He's not in part of this. Joe's idea of bringing up other comics, helping other people. So there's something there.
He brought up, sorry, I guess it was in this episode. He gave Joe, like, Brian Callen had to be talked about this episode.
Well, that in the Seth Rogen, James Franco, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying.
That was crazy, man. Like, that felt like a moment again, like last week, where we all know, but he's not saying it. It was so weird. Did you guys didn't feel away?
Well,
Yeah, but I mean, again, it was like I also knew that like had a show booked with Tony this week that he immediately threw Tony off of.
But now
people said maybe it was a Joe's, maybe it was a venue.
Yeah, and he's
Okay,
still
fine.
because
That's
he's
fair enough.
still talking about shows he's doing.
Okay,
with
fair
Tony,
enough.
so-
Actually, that makes
No,
more
at
sense.
this point he did not know.
Yeah, he
did
did-
not
yeah.
know that was happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, that
Okay.
was later in the week.
Okay.
I will say though, that makes more sense. The venue. I apologize, Joe, if you're listening. I didn't. That makes way more sense.
But don't apologize because we're calling him out on something else.
We're calling him out on Callen.
Brian Callen's back on the Fighter and the Kid.
Permanently.
Yeah.
Every
So-
episode.
And the other guy got fired, and he is not happy.
Who's the other guy
Chappelle?
who got fired?
No, Chappelle's still there.
Yeah.
Is Mali Mal, or
Yeah.
I forget his
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Malik?
well, that guy was
Malik.
that guy was terrible, anyways.
Well, Malik is he's I think he's gonna
He's feeling away.
he's feeling away, and he has done some snippets on podcasts, but
How
he
did he
seems
get
like he's gonna-
fired?
they just let him go because Brian's come back. I
That's
think.
pretty.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
pretty lame, though. Like, listen, he wasn't my favorite part of that.
Yeah, but you fill
show.
in expecting
but
that you're
yeah,
part of the
yeah,
show,
that's
and then you
super
get the
lame.
boot.
I'm
Yeah.
with him. Like, I
'Cause
feel away too.
He feels like they fired him, and then we're joking about it on the next episode.
Oh,
Like,
well,
he's
that's
fired. He's
su-
out of here.
That's super lame too.
So it's very interesting.
But Chappelle was definitely like I ended up liking him more of the threesome. He was way better. Like
Wow.
Chappelle's better than.
But now
fucking,
Chappelle's tap dancing because I could be next. Who
Yeah.
knows? You
What's
guys can get
his
rid of
name?
anyone.
Well, they should get rid of
Brendan Schaub?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Make it Brian and the two other guys. That would be great.
Just call the show Brian and Two Black Guys.
It could be Brian and the kids.
Oh.
I liked how
The
That
Wanna-
sounds, for a guy who's accused of rape, I don't know if you want to start a show called Brian and the Kids.
Okay, even better. Brian thinks that he's a fighter, so he could just keep calling it the Fighter and the Kids.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Is that it? Are we
Just
done with
a
those?
little radio silence.
sorry.
no,
Well,
I never know if you're going to extrapolate because you say such crazy things.
Me? Yeah. I'm
No,
out
Simon.
here.
Simon was making his point.
I'm losing it.
Russell was asking Joe about the comedy club, and it seemed like it's starting to become not as easy as Joe thought.
Yeah, Joe thought he was going to slide into town, buy a theater.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah,
do-do-do-do-do.
sounds like there might be, or it's just going to be way bigger than we thought.
That may be it, but there's just a lot of moving parts and the oversight. I said this a couple weeks ago. It's like this may be a distraction more than the.
I think also Texas is less happy than he is letting on, and then we know, like, Texas is thinking about strapping on a $400 a year charge to anyone who owns an EV car. That seems so ridiculous.
That's interesting.
What's an EV car?
Electric vehicle.
Usually they give you
Some sort of discount. Yeah, no, Texas is going the other way. Oh, you want it?
Interesting.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like that was
But-
like a fuck you to all the new Californians.
But if you have a gun rack on said car, then they give you the money back.
Imagine that, a gun rack on a Tesla. That'd be fucking hilarious.
It
dude.
would be like a gun rack for a super soaker. That's the only way it makes sense.
Did you guys notice in this episode, there's like 4 times they talk about ancient civilizations? Oh, no, fighting would usually lead into ancient civilizations to comedy and then back to ancient civilizations because they were talking about discovering lands. And they talked about the Spaniards again melting their guns to make axes to make rafts to get away.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, that's crazy.
Can I just interject for 1 sec? We'll come right back to that. Just that's something you'll never see is like a deer on top of a Tesla
a tied up
coming
deer.
back from the hunt. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
You don't know that.
Oh
Well,
no, I
you
know.
don't know that.
If the truck ever appears, then maybe it'd be on
Maybe,
that.
Gotcha.
maybe.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
But I
yeah.
just feel like those people who are buying that are not hunters. But Joe, so you never know.
Well, he's just reading all these ancient civilization books talking about there's 400 people and 4 survived. Like, there's not a dull moment when you're in a new land fighting for your life that you melt your guns to make an axe.
Yeah, it's fucking
to build
nuts.
a raft to try to go into. I don't know.
I mean, I guess your thought process though is like, well, at least we'll have axes to fight them with. You know what I mean? So you're not
in the meantime. Between
Who were the
time,
people who were melting their guns to make axes?
The
I missed
Spaniards.
those.
the Spaniards when they arrived.
Why? Just because they ran out of bullets?
because they ran out of anything to do there. He also talked about how they brought the plague to kill all the people, or killed 95% of Native Americans. No, they realized where they were wasn't going to serve them, and they needed to cut down trees to get the fuck out of there. And the only way they could do it is melt down guns. That's just the bossest thing I've ever heard.
It's fucking nuts. It also shows you like how they really just like they were all jacks of all trades back then.
Yes.
Like I can build a raft, I can melt down a gun, I can build an axe.
There's also so little other distractions around you.
Of course,
For
well,
you
you're
not
just
to know
out there in the
core
forest.
skills if you're going to travel
Yeah.
from your home to someplace where you don't know what's going to happen.
We also take for granted that like when the sun went down back then, it was like that's lights out. Like it's so
before
dark,
electricity, of
you're not
course.
doing shit. Like
Time
you
for
have
bed.
yeah,
Unless
yeah.
you have a fire.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying you can hang out by the fire for a bit.
You're
but
not working at night. Everything ceased. I
That's
think
it.
is
Yeah,
what
you're
that
up at
is.
the crack of
Nobody
fucking
was
dawn.
traveling
Yeah.
at night usually.
Oh my god! If you traveled at night, that's a death sentence, I assume. Back then,
Well, you have to have your fires burning, right? Your torches, so you're like an immediate beacon for everything out there that wants to kill you.
which is everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Other humans,
Yeah,
animals, like
and animals are bountiful back then, so you're just fucking
oh yeah, they were big bears back then.
yeah. Either way, are we done with Russell?
Oh, we can be. I have a lot more. Just when he's talking
Well,
about
there was just a lot of fucking fight. You can't have a lot.
the
more,
idea of
right?
nothing to Chicago.
Yeah, the idea of dude, New York.
I had a discussion with myself the other day too about how cities are pretty because they're on water.
Yeah.
but that was because it was a necessity,
Yeah, that's why most cities are. Yeah,
It was about shipping
Now it's a-
in goods,
or
and
even
stuff.
just having water. Like before you have sewage systems, whatever. Like
the
you're not going to
ironic
build someplace in the middle of nowhere.
and the ironic thing is now it's a big problem because if the ice caps melt, they're like all these massive cities are right by the water.
Yeah, well, they could not know that when they were
No, of course
shooting
not, obviously.
when cannons at
when they were
boats.
shitting in the fucking ocean.
Nor would they have cared because you just do what's easiest at that point. I think
course.
you've already.
Well, that's kind of
It
what
was
got us
so
here.
hard
Yeah.
to get over, you know.
Okay, I'll just a couple points and we'll move about it.
Bum, bum.
How long would you guys do a fight camp for if you had to fight someone? Because Joe asked him, "You're going to fight?" And then he was going to fight Aziz Ansari, and he said 4 months. And I think 4 months is. A
If
good
I
time.
was fighting Aziz Ansari, I would only need like 2 months.
2 weeks.
Well, 8 weeks is a normal fight camp, Simon.
8 weeks is.
Yeah, yeah. Like if Connor's fighting fucking whoever, he has an 8-week camp usually.
I would need all 8 weeks to get ready for Aziz.
So like pro fighters, it's usually an 8-week camp. That's,
I think 3
It's
months.
just a weird question, Kamar, because none of us fight, so we really are just.
I think, yeah, really. If you want me to fight someone, I would have to take 5 years.
5 years. I was gonna say.
Shit.
Well, hey, you know
My
what?
camp would have
There's
to be
the honest
fucking
question.
How long-
900 weeks. Like,
How
I
long
don't know.
does it take to transform me into a different human being?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think
A
for
lifetime? That's what I need.
I think for myself 3 months.
okay. I'm going with a solid 5 years.
They were talking about the Tibetans who set the bodies up for condors to eat them.
Yeah.
That's part of the thing, and people are filming it. I would like a documentary about Faces of Death.
the
the making of the
movie.
Well, just to
original,
get to
how
the
it came
bottom,
around.
who are the
Was it
people
real?
doing this? Who put the money in? What was the motivation? Because Jamie seems to think, because they were talking about that, and Jamie goes,
It's all fake.
"I saw they're making a new Faces of Death,"
Yeah.
just out of nowhere.
But he said they were making it like a big, like a box office movie, like with actors and stuff.
Well,
which I
he
didn't
said
really
Holly's
understand.
studio or whatever,
Yeah.
and maybe it is what I want, like a story, a biopic of the Face of Death.
Well, there are certain, like that was one that kind of changed what was acceptable. 2 girls, 1 cup. Like there were certain moments in
But it seemed like
viewing history.
Faces
that-
of Death was the internet just pre-internet.
No,
Like,
no,
It was more
this
VHS
is-
tape.
this
No,
is-
I'm saying it was all VHS, but that's what I'm saying is it was the internet balled up into a VHS
Yep.
tape just before the
it's
internet.
still a progression to the
Yeah,
internet.
I agree.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like the first true viral before the internet.
The weirdest part was they sold that shit on TV.
Faces of Death?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a Girls Gone Wild. Faces of Death. Buy it and you'll get the additional DVD. Fire at Home Gone Wrong.
Could you buy Girls Gone Wild like pay-per-view? I thought you had to order the tape.
Yeah,
Like, wasn't
it
it
was VHS,
before?
baby.
This is what I'm talking about,
yeah.
though. You ordered the physical tape, like Faces of Death.
Louis' bit about that is really funny.
Which one? I don't remember.
It's about ordering Girls Gone Wild and like you could just buy porn, but for some reason you want the Girls Gone Wild because it's like real. It's like, you know, the way Kamar likes his porn.
Raw.
Raw.
I imagine Kamar likes all sorts of weird porn.
Quick, no,
What's your go-to
exploited
this
college
month?
girls.
I don't mean like weird. I just meant like a wide variety. Like he would do. No, okay.
About 3 things.
You dabble in. Okay, just 3 things.
3 main
Fair
points.
enough. 3 main points.
It's like I need one to fluff up.
Yeah.
I need one sort
gross.
of
Yes,
go,
a
and
middle
I need
one, and then
to
you need
finish.
okay, gotcha. You need a strong finish.
Talked about the Chinese who built our railway, built their railway.
Yeah.
They've been here since the beginning of time. It seems like.
What? Sorry,
He said the Chinese built our railway, the U.S. railway.
Like Asian discrimination is
older
Well,
than
they
time.
used to
Older than
send
time,
them
yeah.
in with the birds. That was the whole thing, right?
Well, don't forget too the Japanese internment camps during World War II. That was pretty heinous.
Well, that's what they were. I think. Oh, was it Chinese? Yeah, or Japanese?
It was Japanese.
No, but who they were using to build the railroads?
It was Chinese.
Yeah.
But well, the Japanese I think did some too.
Did you
I'm
guys
wrong.
ever watch Deadwood?
Of course.
Fucking such
motherfucking cocksucker.
Such a great show, but the way they showed how the Chinese were there for the railroads there, and how it was this whole like there was already a Chinatown,
Yeah,
even
woo.
in Deadwood.
Woo,
yeah,
Chinaman.
It was very cool, man.
Go get the Chinaman.
I mean, not cool for them, but cool
No.
to see that. That's I'm sure the way it worked.
I thought it was funny when Russell Peters was like, "Well, I'm Asian too. Like, what Asians does Harvard discriminate against?" And Joe said, "No, you're Canadan." So,
Well,
like,
he meant
it
he
had-
was Asian, like Indian, right, or Pakistani, or whatever he is.
He's Indian descent. I
That's
believe,
Asian.
Which is Asian, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But
that's
we're
what I'm
thinking
saying.
Oriental. Like, what's,
I don't think you
what's
can
the
use that
distinction
word
there?
anymore, can you?
Canceled.
You can if you're saying like the Oriental Railroad, I believe.
I know what you mean, though, Kamar. When I say
Oriental
when you say
Express.
Asian, you mean a specific type of Asian, like Chinese, Japanese, Thai.
Fam,
Oh,
relax
just
for a
say
second.
it, Matt.
Wow. You want me to get Tony Hinchcliffe over here? Fuck that. We're too small to get canceled.
So I think the most interesting guest possible in the world would be Miss Rogan.
I disagree.
Yeah, I got to disagree, too.
I think it'd be very interesting to see if Joe acts the exact same way or is it a different Joe.
I mean, it would be
Intriguing.
interesting, but I can think of guests I'd rather have on.
Of course, that you want, but I just be to get to know Joe a bit better.
I feel like I'd like to see the two of them on a different podcast
I'd
where
like to-
someone else is asking the questions. Does
I'd
that
like
make more
to see
sense?
Jamie interview Miss Rogan. How about that?
I think if Jamie had any inkling or iota to want to do that, he'd have his own podcast. Or maybe he's just too busy with Joe Rogan's podcast. But I don't think he
I mean, I'll put it to you this
has
way.
interest in that at
I can't
all.
imagine having his job full time and then wanting to go home and do another like he's also really well paid.
Oh no, for sure. I wonder though if one day he will morph into his own. Like, will he outgrow Joe at some point?
I don't know. He's too well paid. The gig is too. It's the golden handcuffs.
Free Teslas, all that.
Yeah,
jazz.
I don't know. He moved to fucking Texas for the.
Well,
guy,
I mean,
like-
at what point does Jamie start thinking like, you know, Joe is making
I just look at
hundreds
it.
of millions of dollars from Spotify? Maybe I'm entitled to 10% of that.
Maybe he already gets that.
Yeah,
10%.
maybe.
Like, and if he
I-
does, then he's
Well,
already fucking. You know.
he better know what he's doing there. Doesn't want to end
A
up
la
like Joe Budden.
yeah.
Let's get it all. Okay, just last thing. They were talking about stressful jobs.
Yeah.
Soldier, Joe thought was then firefighter, police.
Yeah.
What about armored guard? Like you
saw that
recommend-
video?
when the guy's driving
Dude.
and they're just blowing away the car.
I
Like
told you it was fucking nuts.
I mean, that South Africa is more violent, but any armored guard at all times, you think someone might be trying to rob us. Have you ever worked in a place where they come and the guy stands
yeah,
there?
of course,
like,
yeah.
Your job is to be prepared to be robbed.
Yeah,
I
at
think it
all
must be
times.
super stressful.
I mean, keep in mind too, like you said, I think being an armored guard in South Africa is a much dicier job than maybe doing it in Ottawa. But
But the only reason you exist,
yeah, is because someone wants what the fuck is yeah, 100%.
you know, what, I think it's an underrated stressful job.
Well,
and that,
I think the amount of times that those things actually get robbed are minuscule compared to like if you're a fireman or a military guy or a police.
Yeah, of
you
course.
Know, so that's.
Kamar, did you see the view from outside the car too?
yes.
Because like it's not when he pulls up and there's like the two trucks parked in the fucking shit and he nearly runs over two guys. It's fucking
And
bananas.
he's sort of keeping his cool.
Dude, he's given the guy in the passenger seat looks shook as fuck. He's like, load my
Should I
gun.
shoot? Should I shoot? I don't
Dude,
know what
it's
to do.
fucking nuts.
And then there was that case in Edmonton where the armored guard robbed them.
Oh, a la
Don't remember
the
that?
Town?
No,
No, remember the movie The Town with Ben Affleck, where they pretend to be the cops to rob Fenway?
I guess it's similar, but it was 4 armored guards, and he shot them all.
Ooh.
And I think he shot himself. It was
he
like,
shot
we
the
got
guard.
robbed.
Oh, wow.
And he got busted. Other than
That
that,
would suck after taking a bullet.
Yeah.
You know, like you shoot yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I've gotten away with it. Nope.
Anyways.
there was just a couple points where Russell's like, I wish I had a game. And Joe's like, well, why don't you? Or I'm thinking of starting to. Anyways.
Yeah, let's move on from Russell. This is
Rated
been a
boys?
long time, no?
Okay, yeah, for sure. Rated, Simon. We'll start with you.
You give this one a
antsy
1.5.
motherfucker. He's getting hot in his bubble, I can tell.
Hot, yeah, man.
We'll take 20. We'll go outside. It's nice and rainy. You give it a 1.5. Okay,
Yeah.
Kamar.
I give it a 1.5.
No, I changed my mind. I give it a 2.
I don't love Russell Peters.
Okay.
But I'm glad he's in a better place than he was last time.
I also give it a 2. All right, we are going to pay some bills, and we will be back shortly. All right, we're back. Thank you to BetterHelp and Pot Stickers. Be sure to go
Thank you to the
check.
sponsors.
Be sure to go check them out.
Sort your vapes out, peeps.
1651.
Joe List.
Joe List.
Simon, I don't know. I'm on.
Who's on the list? Joe.
Because they do a podcast together, I don't know where Mark Norman ends and Joe List begins, or vice versa.
Do you listen to their podcast?
No, but they are similar. I'm sure they've just rubbed off on each other, like they've just so that quippy.
Who's the other guy that rolls with, that has a podcast with Norman?
I don't know if he is another one.
Yeah, there's someone else.
I'm not the god of podcasts.
Okay.
Well, no, I Mark Norman does Tuesdays with Stories.
Yeah, I didn't know he had another podcast, in all fairness. Come on.
I'll find it.
I also am not the god of podcasts.
No, you're not. We are just mere mortal podcasters. He starts off with a real herring story about Austin that sort of paints a different picture than what Joe's been saying, eh?
Yeah, it's a slightly different picture. Simon's taping himself in, if you're wondering.
Give myself some more slack.
And so he tells the whole story, and then the very goes, and I ran. And he sort of held his breath for Joe to be like, you fucking pussy. He's just like, I
Oh,
would've
Joe was
run
like,
too.
that's good. Running is
And
good.
We also advocate running,
Yeah, take off.
avoiding any sort of situation. There's no reason to hurt yourself or hurt someone else.
Or in
One-
Kamar's case, driving.
It's Sam Morrell or Morrell.
Sam
One more
Morrell.
drink with Sam Morrell. Yeah.
Yeah, but I find Mark Norman and Joe List are more similar.
That's fine. At first that's who I thought this was, and then I
The blank's
Sam
been filled.
Morrill's got a great voice, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
yeah, he's great. I saw his rooftop sets that he did during COVID. He was pretty good.
He's very, very good and likes to escape that line of being offensive and doesn't complain about it. The Iron Cross is a crazy move. They're showing the gymnastics.
Yeah.
And when you just hold
It's
it there,
fucked.
It's crazy. I always, because you only watch it every 4 years. Hopefully the Olympics will come this year. But how jacked those are, and how Joe is saying they might make a great transition, but they have no legs for the most part. I find they're very like
Yeah,
triangle,
it's top
upside down,
top
trunk
heavy.
body.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is it possible that Joe List started doing jiu-jitsu just so he and Joe could be closer?
I think it's also because he's a fucking nerd and wants to be able to feel some sort of
I was just joking.
ability to defend himself.
But you're right, Simon. That's a good way to get closer. If you're an up and coming comedian, you should probably take up some jujitsu.
Joe ignored him for a really long time, so maybe like he finally got on and he was like, okay, I better make sure that, you know.
Joe List posted a few YouTube videos of him fucking rolling with a couple of guys just to get Joe's attention.
This is his second time on.
Have we done him
Yeah.
before? Yeah.
Yep.
I thought so. Yeah.
I think it was like the Legion of Skanks and Joe List. Like Bobby Kelly hasn't been. There's a whole bunch of people who haven't been on.
Bobby Kelly has never been on?
Nope.
That's crazy.
really never.
Are you sure? Yeah, I mean, you're probably
talks
right.
about it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow, that's nuts that he's never been on. Because Joe always talks about him, nothing but good
Yeah,
things
speaks
to
highly
say.
of him, yeah.
Maybe he's just too fat to get on a plane. I'm just kidding, Bobby.
Wow.
That is crazy that Kamar just insulted him like that.
You know, everyone does. He insulted himself. I love Bobby Kelly. I met him at Paul Verzi's taping.
Oh, there's a name
Oh,
drop.
humble brag.
I love Bobby Kelly too. He's just so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious and a wicked guy. You know what, dude?
No, you don't think
he
that,
was
come
on Dane Cook's show back in the day.
Dane Cook had a show.
Yeah, it was a show. It was a TV show where basically they followed him on tour. So you got like the tour.
Tourgasm?
Yeah, Tourgasm, yeah. Wasn't Bobby Kelly on that?
It's
I
so
do
funny to see Bobby Kelly in like the 80s or the 90s where he's like thin with hair and
It's funny, dude, on Opie and Anthony, I know I'm getting ahead, but on Opie and Anthony, they used to you had to bring in an old set and they would play the old set and then they would literally spend the next 2 hours just decimating.
I heard them do
I sent you fucking, what's his name? Rich Voss's.
Rich Voss,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
that one was great.
With your crackhead teeth. Sorry, Kumar, keep going.
No,
My apologies.
did you guys like Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, I've seen like 4 of the shows.
Well, I believe it's gone bankrupt and there's no more.
Well, don't forget, I watched a lot of high stakes poker. And I've been rewatching them lately out of boredom. Guy Laliberté, the guy that started it, he was a fucking degenerate high stakes poker player.
Yeah, well, I think he played a lot of high stakes poker with the actual company.
Yeah, it seems
and they
like
overextended himself.
I
and
would
it's gone bankrupt.
I would really have liked to have seen that Beatles one though, because awesome music and you're watching.
It was really
all
cool.
that stuff. you know?
Dude, I went to the one in Vegas that's the water one. It's like, I think it's, what's it called? Fucking insane. I've never, like, it was fucked.
But what I think what happens, those guys are rolling like in debt, and as long as we keep live shows going, we'll eventually catch up to ourselves.
Yeah, you can just over leverage the company. Yeah.
Pandemic hit,
Oh, yeah.
and I think something like Cirque du Soleil will be.
Well, there was that horse,
reincarnated, but
there was
it's
that
gone
horse
now.
one that came along too,
That-
Carnival
that
or
one
whatever.
was stupid.
I'm just saying, it had like big numbers though.
The that Vegas one must have been awesome because it would have been a permanent installation, I imagine. Like
Yes.
I saw the one here, so it was cool, but they put up a tent. You know what I mean?
Simon,
Was
they
it Saltimbanco?
what's that? What?
I was asked this time if the one he went to see was
Oh,
Saltimbanco.
Simon, this one's at the
What is-
Bellagio.
if it was what? Sorry.
Saltimbanco.
That was the name of the one.
That was the name of the
that
one.
came here.
Oh no! It was a while ago.
Simon, in the stage, they had built like what must have been a 40-foot deep pool of water, like a huge pool, and it was all acrobatic shit. Like someone would be shot 150 feet into the air, do some crazy shit, and then land in this pool. It was
That
fucking
sounds awesome.
dude. It was nuts. They had a guy planted in the audience that like climbed up to the rafters and then fell in the water. It was fucking bananas. Absolute show.
And the initial key to Cirque du Soleil was circus, whatever, but no exploitation of animals.
Yeah,
Just people.
Yeah. And it
Yeah,
was
we
more
just
like
exploit our people.
yeah, and it was more like the shit you're gonna see is way crazier than just like a few fucking rodeo clowns. Like, no disrespect to clowns.
They sort of scour the Chinese gymnastics.
Precise. Yeah, anyone that didn't get a
Lose.
gold medal, yeah,
Get over here.
on the
We got
boat.
something for you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I've never seen like a good circus. I've
No,
only seen like
circuses
crappy
are shit.
circuses
Yeah,
that
but
come
when
here.
you're a kid, I think about circus is just going to any live event for the first time is exciting.
Yeah. Dude, I stay in
And you wouldn't want
Sarasota.
to go for years, like every year.
I stay in Sarasota every year because that's where my family has a place, and that's where the Ringling Brothers like museum is, and they still have the circus there, like running 24/7. And every year, my family's like, "Why don't we go to the fucking?" I'm like, "No, I don't give up. I don't need to see elephants doing the same shit and cotton candy. Like, fuck off."
No, and they're treating those animals.
Oh,
terribly.
those animals get treated terribly.
It was weird too. Then they were talking about Michael Jackson
Yeah.
because they said maybe Michael Jackson had a Cirque du Soleil. I believe he does.
A chemical castration.
But Joe List was like, well, Michael Jackson, and then Joe's like, well, maybe not because of Casado, and just because you chemically castrate doesn't mean you can't molest kids.
I was just gonna say that gives you carte blanche.
It was the weirdest sort of. Well, maybe.
Well, no,
we're
but
quick to
the
judge.
idea is that like they're burning away your testicles. You're gonna lose any like urge to
to touch.
because you have no more testosterone.
So, but why do you
know what
want
I
to
mean?
touch kids then?
We believe it's a mental defect.
No, I'm saying that there may be no correlation between the two of
okay,
them at
gotcha,
all. You know?
gotcha.
Well, that's interesting. He likes the castrato, and I felt like Joe List hit that high note, which is I don't think you have to take the balls off. You just got to go falsetto.
I'm a sucker for a good
his
falsetto.
Philip Seymour Hoffman story, Rest of Power, is the best.
Fucking hilarious.
I would love that. Like thinking.
I got this.
It's almost the opposite of the Days of Confused story. Like punch a fight, everyone jump in, tell them a wicked line, you guys become friends. It's like so awkward. We're out of here.
It's funny because I feel like if you need to read the room. Like if it's like a Kevin Smith and you have like some really obscure reference, I feel like he's the kind of guy who might engage you. But like Philip Seymour Hoffman doesn't seem, especially with a woman. That's the worst time to go talk to a famous person.
But I think sober Joe List, because he said he was drunk at the time, would not make that decision. But from this episode, we found he's a crazy cinephile.
Oh yeah, he was nailing that movie game.
Oh, he was. Yeah,
They
he
stole
would
the
fuck
movie game.
our
He
movie
would
game
kill our
right up.
movie game,
Yeah,
man, for sure. That guy has some
Yeah, it was
facts on
insane.
file.
He really communicated his passion for film and stuff.
yeah.
And at the very end of the podcast,
Have you guys seen? Hold on. Have you seen Dog Day Afternoon? If you haven't, go watch it.
what's it on?
I've seen it a long time ago.
Al
It's not-
Pacino,
It's Al Pacino and the guy that played Fredo.
and he's a hostage situation.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
a bank
okay,
robber.
I've-
But
yes,
the
I-
twist at the end is very 2020.
I've seen it, don't remember it.
Okay. Great film. Little Squirrel.
He mentioned some good advice, which I never thought is he hates telling people he's a comedian. Mm-hmm. So he tells people, I'm visiting
I'm a plum-
kid
I'm- yeah.
or a painter or whatever.
painter.
Because if you do tell someone you're a comedian or whatever, like you're fucked.
Why? Just the questions that follow?
Or they immediately, all of a sudden you have to
Hey,
be
tell us a
funny
joke.
or anything like that. So
You don't like the pressure.
I
Of
thought it
being
was
funny?
interesting.
But I mean, you wouldn't call yourself a comedian anyways if somebody asked you your occupation. That's not what you do.
No, but it's more like if I was in Toronto to do shows and I met someone, I wouldn't tell them I'm a comedian either. Mm-hmm. Do you know what are you doing here? Just small talk.
But I don't think I would call myself a comedian until that was my main income.
This is what that's what I'm saying. Until
Brian
that point,
Regan
you're
doesn't
a
tell
painter.
people, and he's a super.
Yeah,
but
but that's
some-
because he doesn't want the fame, like, right? That's
No,
the-
it's just the people asking questions. Oh, that must be so interesting to be a comedian. You don't seem very funny right now. That's what I'm assuming. That's
I feel like on the spot,
mental-
Kamar would come up with the worst answer, and they'd immediately have 100 questions. He'd be like, "I'm a crab fisherman in Alaska." They'd be like, "Oh, I have a million questions."
Well, I was.
I know what I
thinking,
am.
like,
I'm a crypto investor.
when you go golfing, you ask people questions about whatever they do. If they're a comedian or if they're a fence painter, you know what I
'cause
mean?
you know you have 4 hours with
stuck
them.
with
Yeah.
them. Like that's just how it is.
Don't go golf with strangers. I suppose is
That's
a
the
safe
real
bet.
lesson. Okay.
A lot of shit talk. Then, would you guys be offended if I ever sent you a picture of my shit?
I would not like that at all.
I
Quick answer
wouldn't
from
want to
Simon.
do that. Wait, you're on the fence? Like, if it's a killer log, I might want to see it.
Yeah, are you open to that, Maddie?
I mean, listen. If am I gonna? You sound like you would no longer speak to Kamar. Like you're a Louis type.
I would definitely like get on the phone with Kamar and be like, "Yo, if you send me your shit again, I'm gonna take a dump on your fucking steps."
I get one
Here's
shit
the thing:
though.
if Kamar sends me a shit, it's like that shit. Remember in The Office when he's talking about texts you can and can't send? What's text worthy?
Okay.
If Kamar sends me like the shit of all shits, then maybe he gets a pass, and maybe he can
It's
send
a
me one in the
maybe,
future.
though.
But if he
at least you're getting a maybe out of me.
if
He was a hard no.
sends you shits, you're gonna cut him off.
Listen, if this guy's just sending me every single stool sample every day, obviously we're gonna have a problem.
Well,
So Kamar, you
And
can
Ari-
send Maddie anything really good. Apparently, any like really impressive shit he wants to see.
I don't feel like I'm comfortable sending my shit, but it's more. I feel like this is like a molestation thing.
What?
You know, like someone gets molested, then they molest. Someone sent someone a shit.
And now they're like, "This is cool."
And they just caught on and now they're infected with it because he was saying his normie friend or whatever you want to call him, non-comedian's like, well, no, that's not right. And he had the quickest comeback ever because Joe's like, well, because of human resource. Like, it is a human resource. Yeah. He's very quick, just like Mark Norman.
Yeah, Kamar. I mean, I'd prefer probably you didn't, but if ever you felt like,
I would laugh if someone did to me, but I don't think I'd want to do that to someone unless they initiated.
here, quick gross story. My ball exploded this week, and
No.
yeah, and I was like, maybe I'll take a picture and send it to like the boys just to let them know how fucking terrible what I'm dealing with is. And then I was like, no, this is just terrible.
Why didn't you just put it on Instagram?
Like Mary too. Mary was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This is awful.
That's special though. You have it to share with her.
Oh.
No,
No,
she's,
but you just a man on an island with your
yeah, you're
your
right. Yeah,
ailment,
yeah,
you
sure,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
No, she feels for me. She's like, this is terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I think
Yeah,
I would
no,
feel to you.
I definitely feel for you.
but she feels
I
for
don't
me on a
see
level
it.
where like, yeah, she's seen it, so it's it fucking sucks.
Adorable story about
Well,
old.
thank God you didn't send that out to the boys.
You're welcome. You
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Feel free to do it
No
to me.
shit.
I may send them back
No
my shit.
balls exploding.
I raise your exploded nut with the shit.
Yeah. It's technically it's not my nut. I guess it's like my leg, but it's close
Listen,
enough.
and I like. Anyways, okay, go on.
Adorable story about the old couple that snuck out of the old folks' home,
Yeah.
even though they have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So like it feels to me like it was just we start playing 70s music or music 50 rush.
Yeah.
And they have a moment, but I
Maybe
bet you
the jingle from the thing was like
10
brought them
minutes
back.
after that they're like, where were we? Where'd we come from?
Well,
And
they
it-
must have been incredibly lucid to be able to like decipher the sound code and know to use it to escape. Like,
Hold on, let me ask
that
all of
doesn't
us.
sound like Alzheimer's at all.
How long do you think it would take you if I locked you in here and I put like once a day I came in and hit this pin code? Like, dude, it would take me
A million years.
It would take me
Like-
longer, way longer than Kamar's fight camp. That's for sure.
It's like that game. Do.
Yeah,
Simon?
yeah.
Was it Simon?
Anyways, and that's in my right mind. How do you do that when you're like senile, you know?
But I think it was just like they had a some sort of blip that clicked him back into it, but for the most part he was unable. Or
Maybe it's just your brain turned off so that like it's using a part that it didn't even know was there.
they're totally getting I Cared a Lot, which everyone says is a bad movie to Joe too.
Is that the one you were saying is good?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You haven't watched it yet?
No.
I thought it was good also.
I still
Who
think it's
said it
good.
was
It's
bad?
just the ending is it doesn't. It's not the same strength the whole way through for sure.
Kamar, I just told you I'm
'cause
rewatching
she
Lost. It
doesn't
has the
get her
worst
just
ending in the
desserts.
history of television.
Lost,
she
you have
does.
to be willing to fast forward through half an entire season in order to not have it all ruined.
And this movie's only 90
Like
minutes.
Maddie, I don't watch when I watch season 6 of Lost.
Yeah.
I fast forward through all the time schism.
Well, you know what's interesting is Mary's like, maybe we'll restart Lost. And I was like, I'm so down. And then she goes, because I never finished it. And I went, hold on. You're probably just better off.
No, because half of that season answers a ton of questions.
Yeah,
man.
it still leaves so many unanswered. And the ones it does answer, some of them are just the flimsiest fucking answers
for
ever.
sure, Maddie. And had they not wasted half of that season on some totally useless plot line,
They
we
could've,
probably
yeah.
would have filled in all
Yeah,
those
maybe, yeah,
gaps.
yeah,
So
yeah.
blame it on the time schism. It's what we all do.
Sorry, Kamar, I cut you off. There was some Lost horse
No,
shit.
no. I love the Lost talk.
Did you watch it?
No, because you know what I said. A super fan of Lost is
A virgin?
a loser.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
It's a cute name
Yeah, I
though.
like it. Yeah,
it's a bit of an
Lost,
insult,
loser,
but
yeah.
it does work.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
I was listen, when it was
No,
out,
I don't
was-
think. I think it's an insult. But
when it was out, I was like on fucking message boards and shit.
no,
Calling people like that's such a flimsy insult. People who like science fiction, like that's crazy, man.
no. It's
Get your
the
shit
name is
together.
Lost Loser. It's a play on the
Yeah.
word.
You're lost. You're a loser.
Trekkie,
Yeah.
whatever.
I liked it. I was with it.
Yeah, I don't see any pain in your face. 80% of people aren't on Twitter.
Lost.
But what did that mean though? Like 80% of Americans,
I
80%
believe
of the
you-
world.
I believe you meant Americans. It has this pull and sort of sway, but for the most part, most people aren't on it.
Well, that's why the whole free speech thing to me just makes no sense. Because like, if you get banned from Twitter, your free speech is impeded on. Like 80% of people don't use it. So
But we've heard enough episodes just why free speech is so important.
I agree, free speech is important.
Deplatforming, I think, is what you mean, not free speech.
Yeah, fine. But again, Milo's now turning people not gay. So
See, that was true.
I think
You
that's-
guys told me
think-
I was
I think that's a
crazy.
troll, just like Dave Smith. I swear to God.
we're gonna find
We're
out.
gonna get
won't we?
there.
Yeah, we will. Do you think Milo will be back on then?
No, why? Who?
Wouldn't
like,
he have been
Ari
back
has to be
on
on
already?
first. Ari has to be like. Ari hasn't been on since Kobe, or has he?
No, not been on
Talked
since
this.
Kobe. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of issues down the road of. We believe, I believe collectively that
Is
Joe
Brian Callen gonna come back on?
Separate himself. I don't know how.
Well, I mean, he's back on his own show. You
He
think?
won't even say the guy's fucking name.
He won't even
I'm
say
asking the
guy's
question.
name.
What
Listen,
are,
I'm asking
are
the
they
hard
gonna
questions
have
here.
him back on and just pretend like nothing happened? This
Awkward.
is bizarro world, man.
That would
Listen.
be the most awkward conversation ever, right?
I'm asking the hard questions that no one will
No,
ask.
I just can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine. But it is so interesting now that he's back on his show. Joe can't skirt this forever.
He's back, right? Like, yeah.
He has.
This is nuts. But you know who's not back?
Who?
Chris D'Elia.
No, he's back on his podcast.
Oh, he is?
His podcast, he's in
back.
full
He's back.
swing,
He's-
yeah.
He's fine.
Okay, well, you know who is back then? Chris D'Elia.
I mean, keep in mind, they took him out of that movie that I guess never ended up coming out.
Oh, it's coming out. I think it's out now.
Oh, is it that zombie one?
Army of the Dead.
Wow,
And
that's the
Tig
one he was
Notaro
supposed to be in.
is who he was supposed to be.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's very interesting.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I think Army of the Dead is like out next week or something. The 17th. I don't know.
Forrest Griffin's in it.
Really?
I'll watch it. Zombie movie in
had
Las
an-
Vegas.
They had an ad for it on the
What's
UFC
his
last
name?
night.
Canadian legendary.
Norm Macdonald?
No, fighter.
Rory McDonald? George St. Pierre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting there. I was
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
there. So George St. Pierre has been in like a bunch of Marvel shows.
Yeah. He's like part of the Marvel universe,
The Falcon
yeah.
and the yeah, he's part of the Marvel universe.
He's a good
He's
superhero
actually
type.
pretty good on it because he's so like over the top as a human being with
Yeah.
his accent.
Yeah.
It actually translates perfectly to like a made up
screen,
character.
yeah.
It's kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme makes like a great like villain because in real life he seems so over the top anyways.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. Anywho.
One of the common themes in both this and Russell Peter, Joe doesn't believe a funny movie can be made anymore. Do you guys agree with this
I
statement?
don't agree with that statement. I more agreed with Joe List that like it's tough to make a really funny movie and they don't come out that often. I think we like reminisce. I mean, it's also
There are plenty of funny movies, man.
I also think he was doing himself a disservice. Like Step Brothers wasn't like a critically acclaimed movie. It didn't do well in the box office. It's like a DVD movie that everyone has at home or at their cottage or
But it's like we need to be saved by, say, the Farley brothers, whatever. Like I think Old School is one of the last ones in my head that remembers. Or
No, you know what was a great movie?
Superbad. Superbad was incredible.
This is the end.
That was funny.
And
yeah.
that's recent.
Yeah, that came out in the last like 10
That's
years.
a fucking hilarious movie.
Well, let's do that as a secondary movie game.
that you didn't even have a movie lined up for the movie
I
game?
did. I was going to do Step Brothers, but I like that you threw that out there.
All right.
This is the end. You think it's recent. I think it's not so recent.
Okay, just hold on.
Well, it's
though. This
more
is
recent
fucking
than
crazy.
Step Brothers.
This is
What are you looking up over there, Maddie?
I'm not looking up shit.
What are you looking up over there?
Nothing, Simon. You'll see what I'm doing here. For fuck's sakes, this guy's a real piece of work.
And it's weird.
Hold on. Sounds terrible. I got to do him as dude. That's just a teaser because this guy's worked hard. on
Tyler
this.
will be back,
Yeah,
buddy.
Tyler, you're gonna get your just dues. I have to put it on this fucking machine, which means I have to bring it home. It's a real pain in the nuts. But
It's the movie game, the real one.
A second one. Oh, my God.
Where
Okay.
Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office.
and what film are we doing here?
This is the end. Surprise! I was going to do The Godfather or
Is the movie game.
Step Brothers because he kept talking about it, but this is a great curveball.
This is
Dude, by the way,
end.
this guy Tyler crushed this fucking
theme song.
theme song.
Oh,
Thank
the
you.
acoustic version was amazing. I can't imagine what the full thing is. Directed by Seth Rogen,
Oh, I did not know that.
written by Seth Rogen, and of course his writing partner Evan Goldberg.
I did not know that. Okay, this is the end.
Starring James Franco for the last time, Jonah Hill,
Dude, I was watching.
Jay Baruchel.
I was watching a roast the other day, and Seth Rogen was there, and someone goes, Seth Rogen. He goes, I don't know if you know this, but Seth Rogen has I think it was Geraldo. He goes, I don't know if you know this, but Seth Rogen has a writing partner named Evan Goldberg. He goes, think about it. This is the face that they chose to put out on the duo. Fucking.
That's a nice, not even hear diss.
Yeah.
What a roast.
How ugly must the other guy be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so you're
Danny
ready?
No, hold on,
McBride,
hold on.
Craig Robinson,
It's just a
Michael
year,
Cera,
man.
I
and
know.
Emma Watson.
Okay, I'm there.
Well, there's a lot more people
Rihanna's
in
in
it
it
than
too.
that. There are so many.
And
Yeah,
people.
everyone's in it.
Simon thinks this is a recent movie.
Michael Cera is the fucking pièce de résistance in this movie.
Okay, you go first, Maddie.
I said 2016.
And I said 2014.
2013.
Oh, Simon was closer. Fucking bitch. Wow, that was, okay, almost 10 years ago. But you see what I mean? Like, that came out less
That's
than 10 years ago.
way more recent. When was Step Brothers?
Oh, that was at least.
It was like
at
2005.
least 15 years ago, yeah.
So there you go. Come on. 10
Well, no,
years
I think
past
Judd
that.
Apatow's done a good job.
Okay. Yeah, there are plenty of funny movies.
Step Brothers
It's
is
a crazy, it's a
2008.
crazy statement to say there's never going to be a funny movie again. Why? Because
I
TV's
didn't make
dead?
that. Yell at Joe. I'm just saying Joe said this.
I'm yelling at Joe Kamar.
I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, bro.
I'm not ready yet. Hold
Get
on.
at me. Come at me, bro.
Hold on. Here's the problem with this movie. Can I just speak out loud for a
Please
second?
do.
Speak
Please
my
do.
thinking out loud.
Please do.
Is this like all these famous people did this as a favor?
That's
to
where
Seth
I was- that's
Rogen?
where it was tough for
Or
me,
did
too.
he have to pay all these cameos? Like, did Sarah demand dollar value for this movie?
Can you write down your answer and then I will give you my thought process on this?
Okay. I'm gonna.
Yeah, write your answers. I want to give you my thought process on this.
My answer is written down already. I'm good to go.
I know there's. It's gonna have to be like.
Carry the one. My thought process for this was, are you done writing? Was pretty simple.
And I'm gonna say it made.
Oh, he's not done yet. This guy's really taking his time. He wants to win.
Okay, I'm ready.
Play it for keeps.
My thought process was this. Most people don't have huge parts in this, so they didn't have to pay them a lot. And I think a lot of the people that did have bigger parts, they didn't pay like an extraordinary amount for. That's where I was at.
My thought process is this takes place in one house. And I think location is the biggest thing you got to think about.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of sets. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Or
There's
other
special
places.
effects though.
That's
and that
what-
costs
CGI.
money.
So
Yeah,
that was
a lot
my
of CGI,
that's my
yeah.
thinking. I'm thinking everyone did this movie for free,
And then
but
the
there was
CGI
money
was-
for
yeah.
CGI that needed to be spent.
Well, that being said-
I'm also saying that it was probably a total flop because nobody knew it even existed. So I'm
Interesting.
going to say
Wow.
that it cost 15
Whoa,
million.
whoa, son. What year did it come out?
No, we did this.
We
It
did?
came out in 2013.
Ne-
I
never-
guessed 16. He
Never
guessed
cut
14.
me off again. I was right in the middle
Simon,
of
he
something.
whoa
Jesus
sunned you.
Christ.
For shame on me. I
I was
apologize.
working here,
'Kay.
son.
15
Anyways,
million.
15 million and 48.
Okay, see, I went a little bit different. I said 25 million, a little on the higher end, but I think it made 130 at the box office.
Well, you'd be happy to know it cost $42 million to
Whoa.
make and made $126 million.
Wow,
at the
you
box
were right
office.
on, Matty.
Really
Yeah.
good call there.
Well, I mean, not right on, but you were close.
I was close.
Yeah, I
4
think-
million off.
I think when it came out, everyone was really hot in this movie.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, for sure.
Because I didn't even know it existed. That's why I thought if I could easily have let it go. Like when it came out in the theaters, did it come out? It must have come out.
Yeah,
in
it
the
had a
theaters.
big- yeah, it had
I
a
had
big
no,
release,
I had
yeah.
no fucking idea.
I mean, think
watched
about
this way.
Simon,
later.
you don't put that many big names in a movie without having a big release, right?
I
Like,
thought
that's-
it was
Rihanna's in the fucking movie.
dude. Everybody's in
Yeah.
the movie. Like everybody.
Yeah.
There must be 50 celebrities in that movie.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
Oh my god, when they wake up and Danny McBride's eating all the food. Fuck. That
Well,
movie's
now
so
let's
funny.
do Step Brothers because I feel robbed. It'll be a 3-movie week.
Holy
It's a 3-movie
fuck,
game of
really?
the week.
Play the song, Matt.
No, it's I gotta
It's
do
the movie game where you don't know the name, blah, blah,
Oh
blah,
my god!
blah,
So
blah.
Simon's gonna butcher this thing.
all
So this is Step Brothers now.
Although I told you what year it came out.
Oh, did you?
You did? I don't remember.
Perfect.
Yep, I wasn't listening.
Fuck, I wasn't listening either. I mean, I was listening. I heard you say it.
I got a
guess.
year.
Well, so it might be in there and you don't know you recall, but I know I said it out loud.
Okay.
You ready, Matt?
04.
02.
2008.
Oh, there you go.
That's amazing. We should just do the same movie every week.
Well, you know that we
The game
weren't,
stays the same, and so does the movie.
We weren't cheating, either of us.
It's like the Groundhog Day of fucking movie games. Okay.
Because he recommended that movie, I want to see The Overnight. He said it's really fun with Adam Scott. I can't find it. On our VPN or whatever, Canadian Netflix or Prime.
Gotcha. Step Brothers. What did this fucking movie cost?
And so this is older than This Is the End.
Yeah.
Starring
Will Ferrell.
John C. Reilly,
John C.
love
Reilly.
him, Richard Jenkins, Mary Steenburgen, Adam Scott, and Catherine Hahn.
Oh, man, this is tough.
Directed by Adam McKay,
Okay, I'm ready.
who also did Vice and The Big Short.
I'm ready as well.
Okay, go ahead.
I said 18.9 to make and 52 million box office.
Wow, I am so terrible at this.
Well, you don't
game,
know that.
obviously. I said 31 to make and 158 box office.
Simon was in the neighborhood. 65 million to make.
What?
Are you fucking serious?
They must have had to pay those two guys a lot.
They must have
of
crashed
money.
that boat fucking 10 times.
Mary Sternberger must have asked for like what, 28 million
Holy
for
shit.
that
And
movie.
what was the box office?
128 million.
Oh well, I wasn't that far.
That's what I said. You were in the neighborhood.
I
wasn't
was
gonna
I
know
was
that.
just miles
You're,
off.
you're
on
feeling
that one.
yourself.
I
there.
still don't feel good about this week's movie games, but let's go on.
Miles off there. Okay, let's move on. No more movie game this week. That's it. No mas.
No mas.
And then they talked a lot about fighting and jiu-jitsu and stuff. Also a lot about stand-up comedy and like just the killers that used to be in Boston and stuff.
Oh, they talk about that all the fucking time.
I can't find Mike Donovan or whatever.
We're not doing this.
I just thought it was
Oh, you've been looking up old sets of these guys?
couldn't find it. Like a lot of these guys are just like
Well, I mean, again, if they were
lore
running
now.
the 90s, like, no one was
See
really
how-
recording a
Not
lot.
too much footage.
Did you see how what's this guy's name? Joe List was finding another angle he could get close to Joe on? Boston comedy, man. I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
you. He's not even from Boston. He just did all this research. So when he got on there, he was good.
So you feel like he was sort of projecting
No,
his
dude, I'm
You're
totally
being mean. You're
joking.
being
Just
mean.
I mean,
being
I'm
a
surprised
fucking
Kamar.
joker.
I'm surprised Kamar hasn't brought this up yet. There was 1 second of this where I was like, Kamar is going to give this a 0 or a 1. When Joe List says out loud, "Wow, is this a really bad podcast so far?" and Joe has to be like, "No, man, this is great." I thought that was like I thought you'd give that the big red flag, like a cry for.
No, because he's so self-deprecating.
Fair
It's
enough.
almost like anyone else that would be, but I can't tell. You know,
Fair
it's
enough,
like,
yeah.
oh, last time I didn't promote a podcast or whatever. It's just that it's the same as Mark Norman almost, and just that. Oh, no one likes you or whatever. Like you're funny, you're
Neurotic.
good.
Yeah, yeah, I
exactly,
got you.
exactly.
I got you.
Hypochondriac.
You don't find that shtick old?
The
The woe is me. Like,
have you seen him? He should
But
be.
Simon,
woe is
I mean,
me.
if it's
like
not
he's
an
an
act,
Adonis.
like if it's if it's not an act, like if you really just live life, like woe is me.
no,
I mean,
meant shtick as in like he's a comedian and that's kind of his.
okay, I see what
shtick,
you're saying.
you know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I
But
mean,
he's
he's
been
like-
doing it for 20 years. I think it'd be weird if he lost the glasses, got a little buffed, and started being like Daniel Tosh. Like he, like you know what I mean? He's the
If
opposite.
he came out with like a Michael Chandler 6-pack,
Yeah.
and,
he can never pretend to be
got
confident.
got rid
could
of
never
the,
pretend to be
got rid of
confident.
the glasses and came out with like I don't know cat eye contacts.
Oh yeah,
Just really
Yeah.
switched the fucking scene up.
Just if he changes
Sorry.
his name to Joey List, you know, he'll always just mild mannered, funny Joey List.
Joey List.
Joey List. That would be awesome, man. I would become a true fan at that point.
He starts taking roids. He's just fucking jacked.
Just adopts a whole like what's his name persona.
Dice Clay.
Yeah, Dice Clay persona.
I'm fucking Joey List. What's your fucking problem?
Dude, speaking of that whole persona, when they were talking about Rocky, I still to this day think that Eddie Murphy's bit about Rocky is one of the fucking all right, Rocco. That is hands down one of the 5 funniest minutes of stand up ever.
And you could imagine what people were like in '76.
Of course. And yeah, like dude, when he's grabbing his crotch and shit, fucking incredible.
I think Joe List should totally do a Joey List character. That's like fucking hilarious.
Joey L. Hey yo, Joey.
He's a prolific writer, like you said, and he could do it. I just think he is who he is. And
I love when he was talking about Ari, and he's like, Ari goes out of his way.
Yeah, he makes
to
it
make
tough to be
really
his
hard
friend.
To be his friend. He's like, yeah, one of those.
He left one of his ass
Kleenexes
bloods.
is somewhere in my house.
but went out of his way to tell him that he wasn't because I just found it and put it together.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I love one of your
Yeah,
rules.
by the way,
It'll be very interesting when Ari comes back, or I hope he comes back. He quoted Seinfeld a lot.
yeah.
And I think all these quotes from Seinfeld are like from people not dissing on him or trying to cut him down or whatever. But my favorite one was the 4 levels of comedy.
Yeah.
Making friends laugh, making strangers laugh, getting paid to make strangers laugh, and then people imitating your voice because it's funny. What's the deal with bacon?
It was bacon. That's the one you get.
I didn't know I was going to freestyle there.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Come on.
But back
It was better than my movie theme song, anyways. So.
oh, that's pretty
We'll
good.
give you that.
Back to there was some good advice for comedians, I think, in this one. The fuck meter. Like even back then, the Mike Donovan was saying you got to watch your fuck meter because you can say fuck too much.
Yeah.
And most people use it as a
Hey,
pause.
crutch
and Kamar,
Yes.
we swear too much on this show.
Who says that?
That's what my sister
We
says.
should really watch our fuck meter.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're the swearer on this, the cursor. Sorry, pardon me.
Who, me?
Simon.
Yeah, Matt curses a lot.
I think Simon swears a lot.
Don't fucking tell me what I do.
I think is this your period to be a sailor.
Listen, you speak with a certain joie de vivre, Simon.
Yeah, man, it's a
just-
passion.
fine,
Oh,
yeah.
it's
I
not-
know
it's
I
not
swear a
crassness.
lot.
I
I'm
curse a lot, too. I don't give
am
two
just
fucks.
messing around. It's
Listen,
because
your sister
shout out
hangs out
to
with
Jay.
kids. Your sister hangs out with too many kids.
Kamar's little nephew is our biggest fan. He likes when I talk about aliens. He
Except
especially
the
likes when
swearing.
I talk about
Except
Bigfoot.
the swearing.
Did either of you listen to that clip I sent?
No.
You haven't sent it.
You didn't
this way.
send it.
You thought you sent
Just
it.
seeing.
You think I'm going to go to my way to Google
No, I'm going to
30 minutes
of
of Bigfoot noises?
I'm clipping it so you don't have to listen to the Bigfoot talk. I just want you to hear the sounds.
You didn't go home and watch Sasquatch?
No.
I did. It's not as good as they made it seem out to be.
Okay.
And you can see why I was super disappointed, right?
Was Murder Mountain better?
yeah.
Yeah, Murder Mountain was better. Every Sasquatch enthusiast
Enthusiast?
in this was gay.
Mike Tyson.
Really?
Every single one.
Interesting.
All the sidebars where people talk, well, Sasquatch could be running. They're all gay. I thought it was very
Well,
interesting.
listen,
Weird.
in all fairness, Maddie, this guy didn't go out of his way to find real deep into the Sasquatch world. Like that wasn't a big part of this documentary.
But they all just had an earring or passed on. There was just some way you could tell.
Gotcha.
And one was a couple. I just thought that was interesting. And yeah, I was a little disappointed.
Simon's face.
Go ahead, keep going.
That's all I have for Joe List because there was a lot of fighting and then the commie talk. But at the very end, he sort of said he didn't even get to out, but he does do a movie podcast. And I think that'd be really interesting because he has such a passion for film. Said he wanted to be a filmmaker, and I hope he gets the success that he can pursue that one day.
It's funny. I went to film school for acting, and I just wish I'd gone for filmmaking because I never wanted to be an actor. Once Instagram came along, and I realized that I really liked having a camera. That's when I was like, "Fuck! I wasted that year. Nice work. Never acted a day in
You
my
must have
fucking
learned
life."
something.
Well, it's like I went to art school and I wish I had gone to graphic design school because it's the same thing. There's no future in.
But you must have learned something
That
art because
craft.
you're an amazing artist, in my opinion.
But I didn't learn anything at that school. Anyways.
Even sometimes when you're learning, you
Yeah.
learn what you don't want to know or something. I don't know.
You are a good artist. Let's get these fucking NFTs going, man. Stop
I'm
talking
ready.
and
You
be
just
about
need to
it.
tell me what to do.
Start
Dude, you
minting.
have a phone. Send them to me, and I'll work the rest
Okay,
out
fine.
for a percentage.
Done. Fine. Done deal.
Yeah.
I think we should send NFT to all the Patreons.
I'm going to try to figure out how that's possible, and then maybe we can do that. Maybe you can mint a fucking a Simon original every time you become a Patreon. That'd be pretty cool. You'd have to join at a high level, though, because the gas cost of moving a fucking NFT is...
Or maybe just
Well, and so much of a percentage has to come to the artist.
just a print of I mean, it doesn't have to be NFT, just a print of something that someone could print out. Just send them the file. Say if Diablo have a cat or something.
Yeah, we could...
Little keepsake. Or we could autograph it.
Kamar's just making my life a living hell right now. This is like I was reading this article this week about... Because Elon is a total fucking retard. First of all, he stops accepting Bitcoin.
Really?
Because of environmental concern.
Yeah, he says Tesla's no longer going to accept Bitcoin. We're going to keep our Bitcoin, which is crazy because I also read another article, and this is not Simon. The only reason they had a positive balance sheet last quarter was because of their Bitcoin holdings. Because when they bought it, it appreciated so
That's
much.
what Dave Portnoy was saying as well.
Do you not see what's going on here?
Wait, hold on. It gets crazier. He then says this. He says, listen, we can make Doge the coin. All we have to do is increase the speed 10x, increase this 10x. And I was reading an article, and the guy was like, this is classic like Silicon Valley speak, where a Steve Jobs type just comes into the room and says, make it 10 times better. And then all the smart people are stuck there going, that's not how this works. Like everything he was talking about doing with Dogecoin is impossible. It's never going to be a fucking, he's a grifter.
He's a scammer.
This is a huge.
feels that way.
This is a huge scam, man. This is crazy.
Like I'm going to figure out how to turn on options trading this week. And this is not financial advice and we are not financial advisors, but I think I'm going to short the piss out of Tesla as much as I can afford to.
Especially with all the other companies coming with their electric cars.
This guy is like a dog and pony show, man. I'm
might
telling
be.
you. I'm telling you, this is all smoke and mirrors. This guy's whole fucking operation.
know. That's
This
why he's
is
trying to get off the
all-
planet.
This is all just to be able to implant a chip into your neck. This guy doesn't even exist. He is just a hologram made by people who have an agenda.
And now we know
Get
why
ready. Keep buying your Teslas, man. They're going to drive you off fucking cliffs.
Now we know why he's trying to get off the planet.
Well, let's rate Joe List so we can move on.
think everybody who loves Elon should fucking jump in a rocket to Mars.
Simon, you want to start with rating it?
Joe List, this was like a 2.5, maybe a 2.5.
Kamar?
I'll give it a solid 3.
I am going to match that 3. I as well give it a 3.
Really would like to hear him talk about movies more. May even look it up.
Well, if you said he has a podcast about movies, then just go check that out. Because I'm sure
That's
it's,
what I mean,
for
though.
sure, yeah.
It may have worked.
Is subliminal messaging. That's how Joe List works.
Is it called, get ready for this, guys, Joe Movie List?
I was just going to say it's called Joe's List. That's
Well, he also has his Full Metal Jacket podcast. Like
No,
he's
it's
doing
not.
a lot of
It's
podcasts.
Full
Mental health.
Mental Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
No, we
That's
both.
what I said.
Full Mental Jacket.
That's
Full
not
Metal
it
Jacket.
either.
That's not it?
Canada.
I think that's it.
No. Full Mental Jacket? I don't think that's it.
Instead of Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Born to Cry.
Pretty sure that's it.
Let me find it for us. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
1652.
Oh, Anthony Cumia.
Tony Cumia.
Both Matt and I said earlier we were
Mindful-
expecting this one to be our favorite of the
Mindful
week.
Mental Jacket.
I think that's what I said.
Way off.
Mental Jacket.
I was really I was when I saw this name pop up, I was excited, and then I listened to it and I was like, this was shit.
Yeah, you guys don't agree with all his positions?
No, it wasn't even his positions. I felt like he was this old guy. Speaking of guys trying to stay relevant, like I just felt like, especially that last story about being with the woman and then hiding her in the closet, and then his girlfriend comes in and gives him a blowjob and tastes the other. Like, who are you?
But he did go, I am a piece of shit.
It's
He's
not-
under no...
Dude, it's not that he's a piece of shit.
He is.
No, but I'm not angry at him because I'm like, what are you doing telling that on Rogan? Like you're Anthony Cumia. You don't
Kamar,
need to do that.
keep
Act
in
like
mind,
you've been
though,
there before.
He also, in like the same breath, is like, I mean, I'm not that bad a guy. Like, I'm not this. I'm not
He's
that.
that
So-
bad a guy.
Well, yeah, but he says he's not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he spent that time saying
Act
that to Joe.
like
He's,
you've been there before.
Well, his
That's
actions
more
speak
what
louder
I'm
than his
saying.
words, obviously.
well, I mean, we all know why he got
He should
fired.
be married, have a kid by now at his age if you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
instead of chase his dream. But what has happened is he found TRT.
Testosterone.
So he's on steroids. He's got a new lease on life. I mean, that's what he said.
Well, good for him.
You're against people on testosterone, eh, Kamar?
No, I am trying to get on it myself.
Oh, you'd like to? Okay, cool. There you go.
I don't know why he thought of that.
I don't know.
Really?
I
Do you
just-
feel like you're low on testosterone?
I don't know, but everyone who does it feels greater.
Fair
Are
enough,
you not
fair
watching porn as much as you used to?
Why would people do it unless it made them feel good?
Well, I think
Well,
all
I just-
these rich people know that it's a life extension thing.
It's not, but it's not like it's not like getting drunk or getting high or anything like that.
No, I get it. I
It's
have
a
no
physical like.
I understand. I'm not like judging you for it.
I
I'm
don't
just
feel
saying
judged.
if you felt like you were low on testosterone, I could totally see. But if you just like,
Want to get jacked?
No, it's not about getting jacked, man. I'm
Well,
telling
professional
you.
athletes take it. They are jacked. It's a what's it called?
A byproduct?
Performance enhancer. So whatever you are, it makes you better. But there obviously are side effects.
are there? Joe seems fine.
Well, and
Do-
when they're
do we-
talking about testosterone replacement therapy, like you're not talking about professional athletes there. You're talking about like Joe's a weird example because he is like almost a professional athlete in the workouts he does. But most people are like low on testosterone, and this is getting them back up to like normal levels. Has
That's how I
nothing
look
to
at it,
do
yeah.
with making you into a big jack
Gains.
superstar.
Well,
Like,
that's
gains,
up
bro.
to you with what you do once you take it.
but these are two totally separate things, is what I'm saying.
I disagree, but whatever. I'm not a doctor. Anthony Cumia says, I'm taking steroids now. I'm lifting weights. Like, he could have lifted weights before. It's just, it gives you more energy. It obviously works that way, but there are side effects. Like, if you guys were to take it yourself, you'd feel more energy. I'm sure.
Well, I wish
Not
you
that
luck.
you need it or you got to take it. I can't afford it, I don't think. I don't think you get, even though we have comprehensive health care here,
It's not covered.
I don't think so. They talked about Alex Jones, about being right. And now I forget who was talking about it, but that doesn't trump him being wrong. Or anyone, you know what I mean?
And the numbers they're throwing out, he's not right 80% of the time. And even
I
when
don't even know that. I can't fact check him.
Even when he's right, well, I just know because he's been on for 10 years and he said a lot of crazy shit that he's even dialed back himself. Like, I don't know.
If this is what I'm thinking. If Alex Jones actually thought that he was more right than wrong, he wouldn't have that persona. He'd be a much more down to earth
Measured
guy who's just out there telling you information. The fact that he has to put on that whole dog and pony show, I think tells you that, yeah, he's ended up being right some of the time, but he doesn't think that he must think that he's shooting out of, throw enough darts at the wall and you're going to hit a bullseye. And listen, he's hit a couple of bullseyes for sure, but like the fact that he has that whole
Sandy Hook.
No, this whole like gimmick, I think tells you that he thinks he needs that gimmick.
I mean, even then, I just think about the stuff where they are like, he was right, like the frogs turning gay. Like that wasn't.
No, he just described it wrong, but what he was trying to, it's like when Kamar can't get his point out. He was trying to tell the right thing. It just came out as a Trumpism.
But that's what I'm saying I don't know that it was. Like, again, I think we're making a stretch there and giving him the benefit of the doubt.
He regurgitated a headline he had heard, turns frogs gay. When you actually read the article, it's a little more interesting and true, That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but even then, I mean, think about it. He's regurgitating an article. He hasn't even done it properly.
Fine.
So,
I'm not.
But I'm just saying is those are issues when you're talking about someone dropping knowledge and science is like, well, what's, if they're just changing
Sure,
fucking...
maybe they should have said he was definitely on the right path.
That's even better than just being like he was right because,
Right? Because he wasn't 100% right, but he was definitely on the right path. He just needed to read a little farther into the article.
Sure, but that's a big deal. I mean, it's, if you're out there yelling into a microphone, they're turning the frogs gay.
Again, nobody's going to believe him anyways because he's fucking screaming into the microphone,
I mean,
that's
but
the whole
a lot of
thing.
people do. That's the other thing. Like, he was fucking shouting about QAnon.
No, for sure. I just as you said, they believe. I
was
thought of
actually
4chan
anti-QAnon.
and 8chan.
Now he's anti-QAnon, but at first he was not.
Halfway through, though, I feel.
I mean, listen,
He
did
pulled
it.
out before.
He
most,
definitely
I
pulled
think.
out before most, but at the beginning he was on the QAnon train for sure. At the beginning, I think everybody thought this was like a
hope.
kind of righteous idea of
Yeah, but again, this is my point. This guy's supposed to be digging deep into like, and you'd think he would have gotten to that one real quick, but
again,
that's all I'm saying.
Maybe Alex Jones has like ulterior. Maybe he did get to the bottom of it, but just like the people running this whole fucking dog and pony 4chan 8chan show, he wanted to make some cash.
I mean, listen, he's filthy rich. Like, what's his net worth?
I believe a game is afoot.
At the end of the day, Alex Jones
he's-
is an
I bet he has
entertainer.
crypto.
Well, no, remember he
He's
gave
losing
away
money today.
$100 million worth of crypto.
He offered
He
to
said he did.
send Eddie Bravo on the cruise to find out if there was an ice wall. He's got tons of cash. He
I
told
believe
him.
it. I bet he's got like
No,
$40
no.
million.
What is he worth, Kay?
The internet says
I
5
think he's
million.
worth 20 million.
The internet says 5, so it's
5.
at least 15.
Maybe 20 million.
Wow.
Feels good.
Yeah, 20 million feels good. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like he's obviously done well doing this stuff.
That's what we're choosing to believe, Kay. 20 mil.
Well,
Well, it said
said
5
says
million on
5.
the
No,
internet.
no, I
so
know, but
that's
we're
what I'm
going
choosing.
with 20 mil.
I
I'm
said
in.
15 conservatively, and Kamar said 20 felt good. I can agree.
There you
I
go.
can.
The views he brags about, it has to bring him money selling those fucking.
Listen, you're not sending
End of the world
You're
kids.
not sending Eddie Bravo to the ice wall with 5 mil.
That's my point. So he's obviously got some. Yeah.
How much do you think it would get to that?
Here's the other thing too. Think about it. He said that he said on Schulz's podcast that he lost like 120 million worth of crypto, and he didn't seem as angry as you know.
Maybe that was just a made up story.
No. The guy that gave it to him backed the story up on Twitter the next day. He said, "I can confirm I gave him $10,000 at the time worth of Bitcoin."
No way.
Yeah,
Wow. And how did he lose it?
it was on an old hard drive.
Wow.
Do you know how much money in Bitcoin is lost? It's
Dude, that's
fucking staggering.
It's so crazy.
There's a guy that has 3 tries left before his thing is permanently locked. He has to get like the 24 words right. He's only got 3 left, and then he's got like 24 or 250 million worth of Bitcoin. Imagine.
Crazy.
Nuts.
No, I can totally imagine, but like I just imagine sitting on that money and not being able to access it, and knowing that you're probably never going to be able to access it. Oh my God. Fuck.
I have a really good story for the post, Joe.
Oh,
In
sweet.
sort of the same vein.
There's a good plug.
Like Anthony, I like a little hair on the pussy.
You like a little.
Like,
Yeah, up top though.
Up top or there. Over bald.
Fine, but there's a line that I can draw, and if it's below that, it's gross.
I don't mind it.
Okay, fair enough. To each their own.
I like it raw.
obviously.
But they called it
You
Welcome
don't
to
like
the
a
Jungle.
hairy pussy though.
They like a hairy pussy.
Like a straight up like ass hair where it's like spilling out like way past the cheeks. Like I'm talking like a hairy
if it's
fucking.
busting out of the underwear.
Yes,
I
yes.
think you could run the razor there, but
So you want a little trimmage, but you still want it to be au naturel.
I find it's a confidence thing.
Yeah, but that's also the age that you grew up in. I find that has a lot to do with it. Like I remember there's a line in Sopranos where Phil Leotardo gets out and he's like, they're like, Phil, how's it being out? And he's like, all the girls, they shave. He's like, they shave now. It's like a bunch of 12-year-olds out there.
Well, I was thinking about that, just complete sidebar. Imagine any guy who's been in jail for 10 years coming out now.
Well, 10 is not that crazy, but like
It is
30.
kind of crazy because there was no iPhone, or like even that small period of
Not
30
10
times
years,
is crazy.
more 20 years.
12
20 years,
years.
yeah.
There was no iPhone 12 years ago.
There was no iPhone 12 years ago.
No,
There was no iPhone
2006.
12 years ago.
No way.
So
Fuck.
if you're coming out of the jail and you've been in there, like,
This feels like the fastest 10 years of all time. Like the rate that things have.
till the next time.
I'm going to send you this video. There's this channel.
Yeah, until the next 10, totally.
There's this channel on YouTube called Vsauce, and Vsauce too, plugs for both of them. But I'll send you this video, Simon. It's all about time and how we perceive it. It's
Is that the
very
bald guy?
interesting.
The mustache?
Yeah, the bald guy with the
No,
the,
but-
the second channel is actually my favorite. It's all about, like, if you like math, Vsauce 2 is the fucking
I do
channel.
not like math.
No, me either.
No, but you might, because it's not about math really. Like, Simon, here's a fun little sidebar. You'll like this too, Kumar. So, you know the old Monty, what is it, Monty Hall? There's 3 doors.
Let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. Okay. So there's a paradox there that says that you should always take, this is so interesting. Mathematically, you should always take the other one. Because this is the way it works, right?
3 doors. How can you take the other one?
Just listen. So this is the way it works. There's 3 doors. Behind one door is $1 million. Behind the other 2 doors, there's a donkey. The host, you know for a fact where the $1 million is.
you should not know.
I don't know. No.
No, the host should not know. I'm just
the host
saying.
should know. The host has to
okay.
know. For this to work, the host has to know. What happens is I pick a door. Now, what the host does is, let's say I've picked the $1 million. The host doesn't matter which door they pick, but let's say I haven't picked the $1 million. The host will then eliminate one door with a donkey. Okay, so he'll go, let's open door number 3. And we open it, it's a donkey. I now am holding one door, right? So I've picked a door. And the host then says, do you want to keep the door you've gone with, or do you want to switch to the other door? Mathematically speaking, you always switch to the other one.
Because
you give
chances
the
are
option?
you never picked it in the first place. That's the odds.
Well, so the odds go like this, is when you first pick, you have a 33.3 to infinity chance of picking right, okay? Once you eliminate one, you then have a 66% chance. Or I can't remember how the odds work out, but it's like...
But I see that working if you're repicking the next time. But you've already made the choice, so I don't see how that comes into play.
It's because now you know that there's a 50-50 shot, right?
Oh, I see. So you can... Well, that's weird. Okay. I mean, I don't
I'm
get
telling you, I'll send you this video too. It's only like 5 minutes long. It's very interesting, and this guy breaks it down far better than I ever will.
Well, if I get on the show, I know what to do now. When you guys were kids, do you get stressed out taking off a girl's bra? Like not doing it smoothly, you feel like you're ruining the mood or whatever. Do you remember that?
Oddly enough, someone taught me to do it with one hand. Young.
Well, you're very dexterous.
Thanks you. Yeah, thanks you.
I can remember being in positions where I was like, this is ridiculous. I have to look at this thing.
Your smooch or whatever.
Well,
Like
because each bra is
it was
different.
just an awkward
Some
thing,
girls
you know
had
what I
like,
mean?
sportier one. They
Yeah.
were coming out with new buckles, and
I found the G move was just to tell her to take it off.
that is a
It's
G
a bit of a you're dominating.
You can
It's
tell we
good.
grew up in the 80s. Take off your fucking bra.
Take it off.
But sometimes you just had to pop that strap, and
Oh, you felt
hope
you
that
felt like fucking Merlin.
that was okay.
The Houdini.
Which would never fly these days because you need written permission.
Well, I was going to say, now you have to sit down with a
Yeah.
lawyer and say,
Can
I'm
you
going to
just send
take
a
off her
text
bra.
message at least?
This is a
Going
record.
on for the bra.
This is a record of me asking to take off your bra. Please respond Y for yes.
Then Joe went back into the easy remove cowboy boots. Like I need to see this example. I really need to see this in action to see if Someone told him that. I think it's
Joe
a lark.
obviously has a pair of cowboy boots he can jump in and out of. Like, that's all there is to it.
I picture Joe now, like when his family's asleep, high out of his mind, dressed like Swayze in Roadhouse, just like in his gym, practicing fucking.
Well,
Joe,
listen.
there goes.
I've been thinking a lot about it. The cowboy boot is a great roundhouse kick pivot.
Oh, it's got some sharp edges.
You like plant that sucker into the dirt and then you use it as a pivot point.
As long as you're in the dirt, though, if you're on like a smooth floor, you're
Oh,
slipping.
you're fucked, man.
Yeah,
fucked.
it's
That's
done.
why
No traction,
That's
zero.
why Roadhouse makes no sense because they're constantly fighting on a barroom hardwood floor,
Yeah,
and
wet.
this guy's
Wet as
fucking
shit.
spin kicking.
Yeah.
Get the
It
fuck
might be-
out
it
of
might be
here.
sticky.
Get the fuck
might not
out of
clean it.
here. Sorry, I'm
Give it a
gonna throw
chance.
in a couple more.
No, hold on.
expletives. Get the fuck out of here.
As someone who cleaned a bar, the floor has to be dry for it to be sticky. When it's an active bar, there's always wetness on the floor.
Yeah,
always.
they should have just been like.
Have
That's
you
it.
ever
It should have been a
worn-
clown
marbles?
show. Yeah.
Have you ever worn cowboy boots, Kamar?
I wish. I dream of that day.
They have zero traction.
Nothing. They're smooth.
Yeah, they're not meant for
Zero
You're
traction.
not supposed to be
with
dunking on
a
people
heel.
with a heel. Yeah.
There is no. They would be like hockey fighting.
I'm
That's
telling
what
you.
that would be like.
No, hockey fighters are way more fucking.
Like pull his suspenders over his head because.
yeah, I'm telling you, I don't get it.
All right, that's it.
No,
Oh,
we're like 10 minutes into.
oh,
Kumiya
this is
here.
Kumiya. Sorry, I thought we were still Joe listing here.
Jesus, we're still Joe listing.
Do you think Joe will have Prince Harry on?
No,
Because Prince Harry chirped Joe, and Joe was like, "Yeah, I could say some stuff to you. You better watch it." I thought that was a little Joe trying to intimidate, just talking to the internet.
Joe was like, "Your dad's a Secret Service agent. You're not even royalty."
And I realize it's not the fact that Joe's giving advice.
That's not your dad. I think that would be the easiest.
Yeah,
There's a litany of things you could say. But I think the thing with Joe is it's not that he's giving advice, but he does make an impression on a lot of people. And I think that's where the area is like, if he has to be mindful of what he says. As much as we don't want him, I won't speak for you guys, but don't want to be mindful or pause. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen, Joe Joe does push back on stuff, and he does play devil's advocate fairly often. I just
Well, he
think that
failed us last week.
This is, I guess, the problem, guys. Like, if Joe's whole show was just screwing around, fucking around with comedians, then yeah, that argument is sound. Like, don't fucking listen to me at all. We're just a comedian show, you know what I mean? We just screw around. But he has like important people on. He has all his health stuff. Like, he's obviously trying to get good messages out there. So then I don't think you can hide behind the I'm just a comedian, don't listen to what I say, because he's getting his good messages out there. So he should also be, you know, responsible for
the not so good ones.
the not so good ones. Like, I don't think you can have it both ways.
I mean, listen, hearing Joe complain about it, it's like, you got the bag, so deal with the shit that comes with the bag. Like,
He contends that Spotify does not tell him anything, that they don't do anything wrong. Like, he obviously just doesn't see it, or that's just the message.
this is what I don't get,
I'm
though.
interested about that.
What I don't understand is, like, the 40 episodes that have been taken down, if they didn't ask, then does that mean that Joe was like, hey, while we're here, why don't we remove these?
Matt, that's a very good point. Like, what if Joe's contention is that Spotify does not meddle in his business, then why are we missing episodes?
That's what I'm saying.
I think his only problem lies if they're still on other platforms like YouTube or whatever. So then now they're eliminating revenue.
But we know those 40 episodes are not on YouTube. They're not in the list of, like, Joe's favorite.
They're still on YouTube today. Because all shows up to Spotify are still on YouTube.
Oh, including those ones? Are you sure?
I haven't done that research.
Okay.
But there's still a bunch.
I thought they took all of them off, and then I'm pretty sure they took all of them off, and it's only the 10 that you can get.
There's only 10 episodes of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I thought he said he was going to pick his, like, favorite 10, and those were going to stay. Now I have to
That's possible. That's a very interesting thing.
Now I have to double check.
I was listening to a discussion between some creators talking about how there are companies now buying people's channels.
See, if you search JRE, there's no episodes that come up. It's all the clips. So I don't think.
But there are episodes up.
But again, I think those are like the End of the World #2 is up. It's right here. I can see it. But
Is that a different channel?
Well, that's powerful JRE. Let's. Whoops. No. Come on. Yeah, see, powerful JRE just has all the cartoons. So I don't know.
So he's still making money there.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know, man. That's like I said, I don't think you can get any more episodes on YouTube. I think it's exclusive to Spotify. So that's what I'm saying is those 40 episodes, a conversation had to be had somewhere if Joe's argument is they're not asking me to do shit.
So yeah, so we're missing something in this conversation because
Someone's lying to us.
or omitting. Let's put it
Sure,
that
omitting.
way,
Fine.
yeah.
Lying might be a bit harsh. My apologies to all parties involved. I'm not trying
All
to
right, okay, what's next?
And then Anthony Cumia brought up Seth Rogen, and we already talked about that.
Yeah, and again, like
Brian Callen is like,
there's this weird fucking
Something that makes you go,
elephant in the room that nobody's talking about. How does Anthea how does
the
Anthony
female version.
Cumia at that point, like I thought he was almost saying it to get it out of Joe and then just dropped it, but that was all very, very odd.
isn't it crazy how like Joe was giving Anthony so many props and stuff? Like there was a time when Anthony was so much bigger than Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
and that change happens. You know,
And
what I
now
mean?
Anthony has
Same with Russell Peters. When Joe started this podcast, Russell Peters was way bigger.
Dude,
Wait,
you can go back.
he gave him a watch, Kamar.
Yeah, now he wants a Porsche.
If you go back and watch those old Opie and Anthony episodes, Joe Rogan is like one of those lucky to be in the room dudes. He's not like front and center. He's not a Bill Burr, Jim Norton, a Patrice.
Part of that was because of geography.
I understand,
Maybe
but
it
I'm
could
saying
be
is
different.
when he came in, they were like, "Oh, Joe's in the studio."
Wasn't
but
a mainstay.
That's what I'm saying. No, he was. I mean, again, he was there. I wasn't. So obviously he was.
They seemed like they all respected him, though.
They did, but what I'm saying is, like,
I know
Kamar-
what you're
yeah,
saying. I know what you mean.
Either
I
way,
get, I get it.
but yeah, no. Now Joe is fucking top dog. I mean, $100 million. That's fucking absolutely.
There was too much. You made me start that. Like they do that every time he comes on. Like
That's
enough.
why I said
It's-
his green screen at
it's
the beginning. They
over.
mentioned
It's
it so
over.
many fucking
Just
times.
talk. We get that. He's one of the reasons, and it only needs to be mentioned once.
I like his voice. Do you think it's important to have age of consent laws?
Yes.
Like they work, or else people like I remember when I was 13, like a 19-year-old, 18-year-old girl was just like a woman, like unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they look like kids that I just could not even bother to talk to.
It's the difference in age. You know what I mean? Like if you're 5 and that person is 10 or 15.
That's a problem.
That 10 age, like it's the same thing if you're 10 and they're 20. Like it's about that experience, right?
Well, it's also again like if you have a 16-year-old daughter, you don't want her dating some fucking 32-year-old guy.
No, of course not. So that should be the barometer. Like put yourself as the dad.
Yeah.
And what ages do you feel comfortable with?
Well, it's got to be something like that 7, half the age plus 2 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, no, listen,
figure
once
it
you,
out.
what I'm saying, okay, when you're within like 2 years of the age, I'm not saying like a 19-year-old can't date, a 16-year-old. Like they're at high school together. Like that's not so weird. It's when you get like, I don't know, like
A
I said,
29-year-old dating the
a 16-year-old,
and
17.
it's like
yeah.
a lifetime has been lived.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Those gaps in
Yeah, like listen, if you're not old
in
enough,
experience.
well, there was but he wasn't breaking the law then. There was no law. He was the age of consent
How
there
old
wasn't
was
broken.
she though?
17.
17.
He's
which
40
is
something.
that was at the age of consent. So again, you can sit there and
And then you have to talk about things like
Shoshana.
old souls in air quotes. You know?
exactly. My point is though, Jerry wasn't breaking the law because
No,
she was
and-
borderline.
and it varies from state to state.
But again, like I brought it up last week because it's not against the law, but like that was gross.
Morally.
Yeah. and
Well, imagine
ethically.
imagine going to high school right now to pick up your girlfriend.
it's
Ugh.
fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's fucked. In your Ferrari? What?
Like your first date is coffee and cars with Jerry Seinfeld.
You go play laser tag? Like what is she into?
Coffee, cars, and money.
Well, obviously. What else you got, Kumar? That was it.
No. Then they talked about, I thought it was interesting, the dumb guy meme. Like the Al Bundy, the Homer Simpson, like guys always present
the
us-
fat lazy dad.
Yet we're oppressing all the other races and all the other genders and everything. It's sort of a weird thing, you know what I mean?
You think they're making like the male figure out to be a big dumb doofus and they
have-
can't be trusted?
I feel like they're
It's
making up for
always
Archie
been.
Archie
Archie Bunker was an idiot, though. He was
a
bigot
like
or whatever.
Yeah, but that's what I'm.
George Jefferson was.
So you think they're going hard in the other direction? Like,
Yeah, making up for maybe some ills that they had.
Or maybe they're trying to like destabilize. Look, the government or those in power want to be your dad. So they want to make sure that your dad isn't that same powerful image anymore that you had growing up as a child, where he could fix anything. He'd save you if the war broke out. Now he's just a big dumb idiot.
But
Always
here's the thing.
buckling.
weighing you down in the
Phil
apocalypse.
Dunphy.
Sure. But here's the thing: is like in this day and age, I agree with that for like the last 20 years. But nowadays, all these dads you see are fit as fuck. They're all running with their
we're
strollers.
getting progressive.
They're all like making YouTube videos of how to build a fire out in the fucking woods. Like I don't know, man.
Well, okay, fair enough, Matt. Maybe it's taken a turn, but there definitely, like, I'm going to agree with Kamar there. There was a chunk of time where
But you can also
it
just-
was the bumbling
But
idiot.
hear me out. You could also just agree that like you know how fucking Hollywood works and how simpleton they are. It's like this thing worked, so we're just going to keep rolling with it for the next 30
Dude,
years.
that is absolutely possible. That may be the case, or they may, is it beyond Hollywood to have an agenda?
No, but I'm taking the easiest path for me is that it worked once and someone in Hollywood was like, "Oh, we need the fucking stupid bumbling dad," and it's just continued on and on and
That is totally possible, Matt. That is definitely possible. I mean, if we peel back that onion a little bit, I'd like to kind of understand why more they want that to be the stereotypical father. Like what's in Hollywood's best interest there?
But again, think about it too. Like
be funny,
every Asian dad is the same in every fucking sitcom too. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that every Asian dad out there is like that. Like they're not all right.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But do you think they're trying to push a narrative there too? Like
Probably.
okay, fine, fair
That's
enough.
probably a really racist narrative.
Okay,
Like,
well, listen. As long as you're going that hard in the paint, I have nothing but respect for you.
I mean, if I was a young
CIA agent trying to make my
druthers,
druthers. Yeah, of course.
that would be a pretty good way to go about it. Like, let's
can't-
just
can't
dumb
disagree with you.
down the nation so they feel like they can't turn to their own family for help. And if they can't turn to their whole family for help, where are they going to turn?
Where?
Who is better to help you when a bully is picking on you than your big fill
Yes.
in the blank?
Brother, Simon,
You
yes.
got it, Maddie. You got it.
I would like that you said that. That leads me to the next point. They then watch the progressive CIA ads. Did that make you feel away, Simon?
The progressive CIA ads.
Can I actually start here?
But yeah, because
Sorry.
I don't even remember.
Well, no. So they were. This to me was one area where I was like, they're kind of showing their age, just because I got there quickly. For me, this is how I read the scenario. These guys look at the CIA in that old, like KGB men in trench coats, like shaking hands down south. The CIA nowadays, I bet, is 50% boots on the ground and 50% computer internet wizards. And I think what the CIA is doing is they're like, our recruiting now has to be more geared towards this younger generation of fucking computer nerds that all have hoop rings in their nose and purple hair and relate to Zim Zer shit. So
They've got to attract the people they want.
Well, and
Yeah,
if
they don't wanna
they're
fall behind.
infiltrating those groups,
they don't want Mike Bakers.
You can't
applying.
send.
no.
Just to bring it full circle, you can't send Steve Buscemi into Facebook.
Yeah.
To
regular high
blend
school
in.
student here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you
Yeah,
need,
no,
you know,
that makes sense. The other possibility is, look, the people who are probably doing the real ills inside the CIA are not being groomed from the outside. They're being brought in from the inside.
Sure.
So they need on the outside people to do grunt work. And if they want those to be nose pierced, tattooed people,
But what I'm saying is they don't want that. I'm just saying is if you look at like the Silicon Valley, that's the type, and those are the people they need hacking code and shit.
No. I'm totally with you. I just also think that they're not recruiting people into the CIA and making them into like the dark side.
No, of course not.
Those
They're
are
just
the
like-
people who
yeah.
are being recruited normally for the most part. I think the dark side are people who are brought in. There's a lot of nepotism. There's a lot of like family shit.
Listen, like I
and-
said, it's still 50% boots on the ground, those ex-military types that they bring in for sure, because you need that. But I'm just saying now, more than 20, 30 years ago, Now I bet the CIA is 50-50, where it's like a ton of computer technicians and people trying to crack code.
And I wonder if there are just so many people dissuaded or dismayed by the CIA right now, because before you just didn't know, you thought, oh, they're just a good operation, and now we
they write some
know
good songs.
that they're fucking terrible and they're
dude,
got their hands in everything. Would you really want to be working for the CIA at this point? I wouldn't.
Keep in mind, too, the CIA has an active Twitter account that like tries their ass off to be witty. So it's not like...
Like Burger King.
Yeah, they're literally in that kind of weird, And again, I think they need a big presence online because that's where most of the crime is kind of...
Oh, totally. And I bet they have a lot of like old school guys in there still trying to keep up with like, Anthony Cumia's out there like, staying relevant by...
But even think about the Russian, what's the internet service there? Like the CIA has that for sure. The what's the chick did the whole piece on it. The Russians that just go and create fake accounts and shit like that.
The bot farms.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I bet the CIA has that shit for sure. And they need these.
Matt, they probably learned that from the CIA. 1,000% they have.
And this is what I'm saying.
Did you see the tape that Jimmy Dore showed last week of the CIA guy?
No.
He's just saying how they can't let socialism happen like Nicaragua or any of these countries, because if anyone gets away, if it looks good to anyone, like
it can't work.
They are as bad as anyone.
The whole world is on a razor's edge, and it can like flop either way real easy.
Just as I'm going on about China wants to control the NBA or the narratives, the CIA wants to do the exact same thing.
Of course, it's just their narrative, yeah.
And then he told the most interesting story, I think, of the podcast about the CIA working with Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Imagine that. The CIA work with a billionaire, Simon.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying, right?
No, but it just plays into your Elon Musk narrative.
Well, yeah, and again, fingers in a lot of pots, man. Like there are multiple ways to skin a cat at once, and I'm sure the CIA has been doing all of them.
But
don't forget though, you don't get to billionaire status without fucking someone over or doing something somewhere along the line, and they have that information. So it's super easy for them to go to any billionaire and go, listen, this empire you've built, it's on a fucking literally, we can pull the rug out at any time we want.
Well, there are two ways that this can happen, to your point, Maddie. Just like I said about Joe, if you wanted to look at Joe as like a CIA operative, possibly, he could have been groomed the whole way through, a la like Justin Bieber, or he could have been like gotten to the point where he's at and somebody approaches him. Same idea as you're saying, right? Like, who knows? Is Elon a self-made guy that they're now controlling, or was he being controlled right from the start and they made him into what he is today?
I mean, again, if you look at photos of Elon at PayPal, he looks like this weird little muskrat, literally elongated muskrat.
Totally.
And now he's like this Tony Stark fucking Iron Man.
And when you find out like that
Asperger's.
Bill Gates didn't really invent Microsoft in his garage, that like his mom got him a contract to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of narratives out there that we just believe because they made movies about them in the 90s and we're like, oh yeah, that's how that happened. He screwed over Wozniak. End of story.
Simon, did you see that Melinda Gates is separating because of his ties to Epstein?
No. Really?
It doesn't make sense to me, though.
You didn't see that?
That was out a long time ago.
No, I did
We've
not.
been talking about
I did not see that.
It must have been just a news story.
But
following
she
her
also
feet.
went to Epstein Island, I believe. So,
Well, the article I read said that I guess he spent like a late night at Epstein's estate or somewhere, and then she was like, she said. The article I read said that she said from the beginning she got a bad feeling about the guy. She didn't like him, and she didn't want them to be associated with him at all.
I wonder if it was like she found out that he was with, 19-year-old girls who wanted to give him massages, or was this like she found out something pretty dark about him, and that's why she's...
Now I know why you don't touch me, Bill.
Gross.
Well, it could be that the CIA had something on Howard Hughes, or he was just interested in the project of making a submarine that could grab another boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or-
It could
that's the
also
same
been
thing
he was batshit crazy.
Or Kamar, to my point,
Again, the same parallels
yeah,
as Elon.
just to my point though, Kamar, like when we look back at Howard Hughes now, do you look at it as like they found this guy when he was a millionaire and like Matt said, extorted him into doing their dirty work? Or maybe he's only a millionaire or a billionaire like that in the first place because they made him so, and maybe made him crazy along the line.
Howard Hughes is
and
self-made,
then lost control of him the same way they lost control of Manson or the Scientology guy.
I don't believe that's the case with Howard Hughes, but yeah, that makes sense.
Why not though?
Because he made his money in oil. I mean, maybe the CIA set him up, but I think his dad was rich. Like, he's just...
Well, maybe they have been doing this for a long time. Like, we're working with his dad and just got passed down to him.
It was.
But why would the CIA want him to build that giant wooden airplane, the Spruce Goose?
They didn't. I think he
No, I
wanted
know.
to.
That's what I mean. That's when he
That
went
was him
nuts.
sticking it to the CIA.
Yeah, no, it's.
He used the money, leftover
Yeah.
money. That's
I think
interesting.
you guys don't take me seriously. You think I'm like yakking about winds of change and whatever. But I think that we'll see. Maybe we won't even be alive to see it. Maybe it'll come out 50 years or 80 years from now, 100 years. But we're going to look back and we're going to see that the CIA, they like did things culturally that had massive shifts in our
Watch the most recent Jimmy Dore. That's all it's about is
In
CIA
our-
agents telling that they do this stuff.
in our lives, and how they like monumental things that we take for granted now that we were a part of or we saw or our parents saw, that have all been orchestrated. Like,
I just feel like some could be good, some could be bad.
but
Depends
sure,
who you are.
Sure, but that doesn't make it right for them to be doing it, even if it's good, Kamar. A
But
third party
everyone's
shouldn't
doing
be
it,
out
so
there
it
fucking
is what it is. It's not right or wrong.
pulling strings and changing history.
It's not something that's going to go away.
Deciding for us that this is our best route and we're just going to make sure that you veer in the right direction. Like, I don't know, man.
And we take solace that CSIS doesn't do shit.
They absolutely do, but they just don't have the same kind of power that the CIA wields. Like, you're talking
Listen.
about an organization that, fuck, maybe it dates back to like ancient Rome. Maybe for who knows, man, how long.
Well,
they've
he was
been
saying the CIA
yanking
started with
cords.
this Howard Hughes thing.
That was the FBI, wasn't it? They were
Oh,
talking
no,
about the other thing.
FBI
That
was the First Nations.
yeah, that's what they were
That was
talking
with
about.
Joe
Yeah,
List,
and that was
yeah.
Joe List.
But
yeah,
again,
that
like
DiCaprio movie.
starting, they're just different incarnations of these same power structures,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Before that, they were called something else. And before that, they were called something else all the way back to who knows.
Someone
man.
started listening to Sam Tripoli again.
Simon, you have to be happy that your boy Werner was brought up in this podcast.
Werner von Braun.
Yes.
Why? What were they talking about him?
Anthony Comillo was like, there would be no space program or no nuclear program without Werner von Braun.
Well, there would be. It just would have taken a lot longer to get there.
I think that was his point. Maybe he
Yep.
didn't say there wouldn't be, but you know.
Yeah,
You think in the times of Alexander Hamilton there was a CIA?
I think there was another group. I don't think they were called the CIA.
Like the Knights
but
Templar sort of thing?
I don't. Well, I don't think the Knights Templar was Alexander Hamilton. Those two time periods don't cross over. I don't
No,
think.
Alexander Hamilton is not CIA. I'm just saying as an example, an organization that has transformed through time. Because I always think about when I listen to conspiracy theories, there can't be that many people of the top cabal. You know what I mean?
No, and if you believe that these are actually like bloodline family things, you know, like if you're, let's just make something up here. Let's say you were in charge of guarding the Holy Grail. Okay.
Okay.
Then you're probably like, when you die, you have somebody waiting to take that over. And there's already somebody groomed to do that. Any organization probably works the same way. You know, that it's like when L. Ron Hubbard died, there was somebody there to take over Scientology.
Yeah. I mean, that's a choice, though. Like, someone was like, this guy's making a ton of money. I can continue this charade.
Okay,
and-
so that's a bad example, but
yeah.
like that's how churches get passed down. That's how everything gets passed down, is somebody has to decide that it's important enough to pass down to the next thing. So I just, I don't know. I don't know if it would be that hard to keep control over organizations, especially if they're like these organizations that nobody really know exists anyways. Wow. All right.
Well, no, I was listening. I was waiting for Kamar to respond.
I don't know. I just know that the idea was that if you can say their name, they're not really. If you know who they are,
Yeah, they're probably not at the top.
They're not the top, but that can only be such a small group.
I mean, I assume that
'Cause
if
you
that-
say they-
I assume if that exists, yes.
if it
I assume
exists.
if that exists, then you're correct. It's a very small amount of people, and they probably don't live an Elon Musk billionaire lifestyle, they probably are Kaiser Soze type. Like,
Well, they have their hand up his ass like a puppet.
Well, you
Yes,
don't
of
know.
course.
You don't know they exist.
That's the point, yes.
The fact that Elon wants to make himself so public like this just goes to strengthen my argument that this is all some weird like charade.
I mean, I'll give you an example too. So the guy that owns Chelsea is a Russian oligarch. I believe his name is Abramovich. They believe strongly that he bought Chelsea just so that Putin wouldn't kill him. So like,
Right, to give him enough profile.
precisely. The idea was that he would go to London and have this huge profile to where he now owns a team, and that way Putin can't poison him because it's just too big.
Well, he can't just disappear.
That's the
one
point.
day,
Yes,
right?
that's the point. I mean, I guess he could
People
poison
are
him.
going to ask where he's gone.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm with you.
Because this guy made like billions of dollars off Gazprom, which is
and that's what I'm sure what's his name was trying to do from China there.
who, Alibaba guy?
Yeah. Like
Sure.
if you
Yeah,
make
trying to-
yourself
you make
enough
your-
of
yeah.
a public figure, if you sit down and have these big press conferences with Elon, then people are going to question when you suddenly just disappear because you've put a name to the face of that company. Whereas if you're just keeping yourself in the shadows all the time, well, that's good because you can get away with a lot more shit, but nobody's going to know when you're offed.
When you're off. But yeah, that makes me that that was my example there. That's one I thought of because it is interesting, like the thought of just making yourself so public that you can't be killed, or that if you are killed, it will raise so many flags.
I'm
that,
surprised that works for like Putin. I would imagine that he's just like, fuck that.
But even
We'll
then,
kill him anyway.
I was just going
I'll
to say
take over the soccer
we
team.
know almost certainly that he just poisons whoever anyway, right? Like, isn't that what we assume?
Yeah,
or maybe not him, but some nefarious group behind.
I'm sure this guy is just kind of trying to hedge his bets a little bit, you know.
But Putin has no shame. Do you know he has a daughter worth $2 billion?
Well, I mean, you can be worth anything when you're
No,
the
but,
richest.
but he says he's not worth that much.
Yeah, but we know he's like the richest man on earth. So.
He has no shame. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not worth that much,
Yeah.
but
My daughter's an earner.
But
She's a
my
go-getter.
my bank account is worth that much.
My big doesn't it make you think moment was when he broke down the chicken wings. Now he was slightly off because every 4 chicken wings represent a chicken. Because drumsticks, you get
Okay,
2
yeah.
drumsticks, 2 wings. But if 1 billion chicken wings are eaten on Super Bowl,
It's fucking staggering.
that's
250 million chickens
on that day.
one day.
On that day,
That means the lead
so
up. That means the lead up in January is just a staggering amount of chicken killing.
Okay, that's
Every day there's
crazy.
chickens eaten.
That's crazy. That is insane. And the fact that we live in a time where they don't have chickens with like wings like porcupine quills. That
Yeah,
could
they've just evolved to fucking- yeah.
No, engineered because that could save a lot of goddamn chickens' lives, man.
you mean like
He's talking like a
synthetic
PETA.
meat?
No, we just do a little gene manipulation.
No, he's talking like PETA manipulates every chicken's genes so that they only.
No, this is ridiculous. How
That-
many chickens
that
we're killing?
is-
Like it's almost enough to make me not have a chicken McNugget.
Yeah, but you're missing my point, Kay. I'm coming up with a way that they can kill a lot less chickens. Just make every chicken able to have like 50 wings on its back. That they don't do anything.
That's
They're just
worse.
there for meat.
That's worse.
Yeah, you want to genetically engineer.
If
so you want to be worse than KFC.
a
is what
picture
you're
of one
saying.
of those gets out, you never eat chicken again.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
my
if
God.
a picture got out of all the chickens on top of each other the way it is now to make your chicken
they
wings,
already get out.
You'd rather see them
But
with a million
still,
wings
how
on
big
their
are these
back.
fucking farms? How bad do they smell? Like
It must be disgusting.
yeah.
and just the work it goes in to kill them.
No, but that is
Before the processing.
That is crazy to think about. Like on that one day, you're going through this many birds.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's fucking nuts.
Like
All
I
for a
bet,
football game.
bet if you did the breakdown of like how many trees have to die to do like newspaper runs in the olden days, it would be like a staggering picture as well.
Yeah,
you know?
if you all put it together at the same time.
I just wonder if chicken like advertised for a few Super Bowls and that's what did it, or if it was just natural. Like,
Chicken wings?
well, just think about it, because like
They put a restaurant like Wild Wings.
But just hear me out. Most people advertise at the Super Bowl to push their product, whereas we know this product just gets consumed on Super Bowl day. Like it's nothing.
Well, it must have been advertised at some point. Like that doesn't just happen, right?
Well, I
That-
guess wings can just become a part of like,
it happens because like there's some big advertising push in the 50s.
But this is kind
or
of my
something.
point. Is like it's like you talking about how everything's orchestrated. Like
Yeah.
someone somewhere one day was like wings and football. That's gonna be our thing, and it just fucking stuck and spread. And then
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, maybe it's
it's-
wings are a bar food.
Very interesting. Yeah, and a lot of people watched it at the bar.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of maybe a natural.
But I wonder when
progression.
chicken wings even became a thing. Like, what year do you think chicken wings were brought
Well, hold on,
into
but
the
I
lexicon?
I assume like way the fuck back because remember all that bullshit like dudes just walking around with a big fucking leg of lamb. I assume they would just fucking always be eating.
But those little wings, like
Yeah, I
this
know what you mean.
idea
Like
of little
like
chicken
manufactured, like mass produced, probably in the 50s.
wings. Like those. Hold on a second. Those little wings that we eat in the bars.
Yeah,
They don't come off a full size chicken.
I don't know. You're asking the
They
wrong
come off a
fucking
tiny
hombre.
little chicken.
Yeah,
no?
those weird little KFC chickens that they breed like a shitload
You
of.
know
I
what?
assume that's them.
I have to know how
The
this
first plate of wings was served in 1964.
Oh wow, I was wrong. I said 50.
And I don't think
64.
chicken wings are that big. Like, there's a lot of feathers there.
Yeah, you might be right there too.
Like,
Yeah.
I really don't think they're that big.
But I know
And
what
their
Simon's
legs aren't that big,
But I
the
know what
drumstick.
Simon's talking about. Like when you see like a full grown, like a big, like free range chicken, like some of them are fucking.
I think you're thinking of turkeys.
No, I know a turkey's fucking big, but
Big.
No, you can also get two sizes of chicken wings. Like there's like a little chicken wing, but sometimes there's like a big chicken wing where you can tell it's a better raised chicken, you know?
And I'm pretty sure chicken nuggets come from chicks.
What?
Meld up. So I think they
oh
come
no,
up
chicken.
all ranges.
Chicken.
Why do
are
you
you talking like
think
McNuggets?
Yeah.
It's
no,
like
no, that's all the
gizzards
runoff.
and stuff.
Everything
Run
that.
off.
So when they cut the breasts and the wings off, the rest just gets ground up.
Well, the breasts. Oh, the breasts, yes.
But why do you think
The
they're
thigh.
they're not young chickens?
Kamar, there's a hilarious clip of Jamie Oliver, the naked chef. He's got this group of like school kids, and he takes apart a chicken and he grinds up all the gross shit like in a fucking blender in front of them, and then he batters it and he deep fries it, and he's got this like plate of nuggets, and the kids have watched him do all this,
And
he
they
goes,
love it.
He goes, now, who wants a nugget? And all the kids scream like me.
Oh, it's his epic fail moment.
And dude, you can see his soul leave his body. It's so sad. Like
Because
he's like,
he had to go with something other than those fucking deep fried nuggets.
I was gonna say, I
because
was
you
like,
can deep fry pretty much anything and it's gonna
yeah,
be good.
he could have copped a squat on the table, and the kids would have been like, "I'll try it."
Do you think it was interesting that he's moved out of New York?
Anthony Cumia.
Like, do you think it's just a tax move, or is the city just like?
I think it's
fucked
mostly
up?
a tax move. He lives in New Rochelle.
Still, he's been there his whole life.
I get it, but-
I would assume he would have stayed for any other reason than it's.
But I found it was
Living
weird that he had a
conditions.
studio. We're almost done, Simon. I found that he had it. I found it weird that he had a studio in the city, though. Either way, Simon's dying in there. Let's call it.
Quick. He gave a shout out to Gina Mosconte and Air Berg and said they do stuff that even Air Berg's my buddy. He's from Canada, has moved down to New York City. I hope that gives them a boost. He's a really funny guy.
It's another comedian you like.
Well, I just know him.
Add that to the list.
So you don't like him? Is that what you're saying?
I do like him. He's a great guy.
I know, but I
He's a
said
nice
I
guy.
said you like him, and then you said no, I know him.
No, I'm sick of you guys with your narrative. Then they talked about Artie Lang, which was weird. Like, I would assume Joe would just call him up.
Yeah, that was weird. Or maybe he's dodging Joe's calls. Who knows?
Maybe he's phoneless. I mean, they made it seem like Artie was like incommunicado.
I think he's just living with his mother like normal, but I don't know. He seemed genuinely to wonder about him, but he could have just checked. But I was listening to Paul Verzi and Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
And Colin Quinn said Artie Lang's funniest joke. He said MMA fighting looks like two guys having gay sex, and then one of the guy realizes he's not gay.
It's so true.
And then Anthony told that story that totally just incriminated him. That you guys
It wasn't
said on
even.
top.
It wasn't incriminating. You didn't. Nobody was underage. It was just a fucking weird story to
It
tell.
didn't make him look good, right?
Well, no, like braggy sex stories never make anyone look.
So
I've never
it's
had
incriminating.
I've never had anyone tell me a story about them getting blown and me be like, "Oh, this guy's a really cool guy." Like
He did not need to tell that story.
Yeah. Just
blowjob stories.
Incriminating's the wrong. word,
Blowjob
but-
stories should involve something hilarious happening.
Incriminating may be too extreme, but that's all I could come up with.
Okay, are we done then? That's it. Let's rate it. Let's start with you, Kumar.
3.5.
Okay, way higher than I'm going. Simon.
1.5.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a 2.
Actually, you know what? A 2.
And he's pretty much a 2 just based on the old Opie and Anthony, like the small amount of Opie and Anthony talk we
hit
got.
half of that button.
Living off his fumes.
We have it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, that's it. We're done. We made it. You made it. Amazing. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate the shit out of you. Thank you to BetterHelp and Pot Stickers. Go check both of them out. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
They can both help your mental health in different ways.
There you go. We do have an Instagram and a Twitter. They are at JREE Podcast if you want to follow either of those. Kamar has an Instagram.
At Kamar Babar.
We have a Reddit or a subreddit, excuse me. It's r/JREE Podcast. If you want to join the conversation, tell us we're shit, tell us we're great. Mostly tell us we're shit. Jump on there. There's a YouTube. It's youtube.com/JREE Podcast. If you want to watch the show, you can do so every week. I throw the episode up at the same time as it goes on Spotify. So if you want to see what we look like and be extra disappointed, head over there. As Kamar would say, you should probably also like and subscribe. I'd really just like you to subscribe at this point. We're on our quest to 1,000 subscribers. We're 3/4 of the way there. Look at us go. And then, of course, the Patreon. Patreon.com/JREE Podcast. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. For that $5, you will get our backlog of old episodes of This Won't Age Well, where we used to go back and listen to old episodes of Joe and do what we do in the normal show. And then you also get the post show every week, where it's the show after the show. Did I miss anything?
You're the best.
No, you
man.
killed it, Maddie.
Send Kamar all the crypto and
And the dick pics.
he wants dick pics too. There you go.
And apparently pictures of your shit, if that tickles your fancy.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was-
No,
Okay.
he wants to be
I'm
the
sorry.
sender. He wants to be the sender.
Right. My bad.
And I said I was on the fence.
My bad. Don't send Kamar your
Yeah,
shit
please don't
pics.
send us any shit pics.
Imagine that became a thing, dick pics and shit pics.
Wait, it is a thing for some?
You use your dick as the reference
Oh,
to
no,
how
no,
big
I
the
didn't-
shit is?
I didn't mean together. Just
Okay.
like, kind of like dick pics.
Okay.
You're like,
You hate the girl, so you send her a shit pic?
you're showing her how healthy your shits are.
Yeah. Corn.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
a vegetarian.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great week. Have a great weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open, people.